listening to Damon and Ray Ratto on 95.7 The Game. Brought to you by BMW Fairfield.
To prove to you that Kyle Shanahan just doesn't get it when it comes to the safety of his own quarterbacks. They score a meaningless touchdown in a decided game by jamming Jimmy Garoppolo straight into the teeth of Seattle's goal line defense. Are you not taking notes, Kyle? Are you not looking at what's happening in front of you? There are, I don't know. I don't know where the class action malpractice suit should be placed. I mean, on the decision to send that play in, on the way that play was run, which, by the way, for a quote-unquote running quarterback, Trey Lance got that completely wrong. He missed every single defensive key that you could make on a read option, and he kept it when he should have given it. So the guy who's supposed to be a running quarterback apparently isn't even good at that. And we are right back. So here's the deal. The day before the Niners traded 2 future first-rounders to move up to 3 was Thursday, April 29th, 2021. The 49ers aren't any closer to solving whatever quarterback issues they believe they have, and they believe they have a lot of them, since Thursday, April 28th, 2001. They are no further down the road in the most important conversation a football team can have than they were going over 3 years. It's two plus years. Ray, you like chaos, I heard.
I'm in favor of it.
Well,
I'm enjoying every bit of this.
Holy mackerel. Holy mackerel. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Unbelievable what happened, and we've got enough things to talk about today to last us for a 6-hour show, a 12-hour show.
Okay,
We could just go straight through the entire evening and go right up to tomorrow's morning show, and we can't get to all of the things that kind of have gone wrong here. And for anyone who wants to say, oh, well, they might be a better football team again because Jimmy Garoppolo is their quarterback, there's only one person on the planet who I can definitively say doesn't believe that this team can win a Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo, and that person is Kyle Shanahan. Because he had the only vote on the matter that mattered. He had the only vote, and he voted no on Jimmy Garoppolo being a part of this team. Jimmy Garoppolo's surgeon, his shoulder surgeon, is now more responsible for any degree of success that the 49ers pretty much have from here on out than Kyle Shanahan is. It's unbelievable. Kyle Shanahan's lost an awful lot of credibility. Full stop. Now, where you want to say his credibility is most lost, well, that's what we have to debate and talk about all day today. And we do have a Kyle Shanahan conference call that when it comes in, we're going to gussy it up for you and get you ready to hear it. And we're going to have Michael Irvin at 4:45 today. Unbelievable. 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 By the way, if I'm Jimmy Garoppolo, today, I'm calling the 49ers and I'm saying, you are not texting me, you are not calling me, and you are not seeing me until you void this nonsensical backup quarterback agreement that you had me agreed. I want my old contract reinstated right now or I'm holding out. Good luck with Brock Purdy. I swear to God, I'm Garoppolo. Well, I'm doing that if I'm Garoppolo. I'm doing it.
I'm fine with every bit of it because this is the law of unintended consequences. On speed, because as much as nobody knows, or will know anything about Trey Lance, the fact is the 49ers are a series of accidents who are still in pretty decent shape to make a deep run in the postseason, which should tell you everything you need to know about every pundit in America who likes to think they understand football. Because this is a pie fight. And nothing amuses me more than that. And to top it all off, it should only happen to a fan base who could be more angry about a 20-point win than they were a week ago about a 9-point loss.
It's amazing.
Literally, these people are desperately seeking misery in all the places you would never go to do that. But they found it. They're getting everything they want. This is their perfect season. The only way this goes bad is if Brock Purdy ends up playing and turns out to be good.
Better than all of them.
Yeah. Just because at that point, then we know nobody knows anything.
Well, I mean,
which is where my stance has always been.
Where's Kyle Shanahan worse at evaluating quarterbacks? Coming out of the draft or on his own roster? Like, that is a legitimate conversation that we can have today. Why wasn't there an open quarterback competition if you are going from quarterback who you don't trust to throw the ball to quarterback who you don't trust to throw the ball? And I keep on hearing, well, Trey Lance is such a good runner. Well, if he's such a good runner, how come everyone agrees that he's not fast enough of a runner to even get to the outside? Therefore, how good of a runner can he be if he's not fast enough?
This is a huge benefit for quarterbacks who play, A, in big conferences where you can see them all the time, and B, play at least 3 years.
Like Mac Jones?
Well, I don't know that Mac Jones is actually lighting it up either. This might turn out to be a quarterback draft, the one last year, where there were a lot of guys drafted and none of them were any good.
Trevor Lawrence is coming around.
Coming around.
Christian Kirk, pretty damn good.
I am surprised by that, but Trevor Lawrence is the only guy that you could look at right now and say, yeah, he's got a better than 30% shot of hanging around the NFL for 5 years. I wouldn't bet on any of the others.
And what would have to be if this were a hot take show, and if I were coming to serve you my hottest of hot takes today, I almost don't even want to say it. I almost don't even want to say it because it's almost even a little too hot to speak. Your car might just burst in flames, and your car radio might start burning. What I'm about to say is such a hot take. I don't even know if I have complete conviction in this. The 49ers' window to win a Super Bowl has closed. There will be no Super Bowl in this inception of the 49ers, and that includes Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance. That is my hottest take for you. And I don't even know if I truly believe it. I really don't. I don't know if I truly believe it because I'm not ready to throw the baby out with the bathwater on Trey Lance. But there was only one thing left to do with Trey Lance, and now it's the one thing that you cannot do at all, and that is play him. That is develop him. And what the hell was the development in the offseason if he's still incapable of throwing a football? And where is Kyle Shanahan's imagination on how to create yards other than, I'm just going to take my my high-value Golden Boy draft pick and use him like a bulldozer? Where is all the pre-snap movement that identifies the weak spot in the defense that you're going to now attack? This is the least creative, most trash-tastic red zone calling I have seen in a long... The 49ers offense is boring. If Deebo Samuel weren't on this roster, it's boring. And riddle me this, Batman. Riddle me this. How can Kyle Shanahan be so worried that his all-world tight end might further exasperate his groin? So out of an abundance of caution to make sure that he's not hurt, he's going to not play George Kittle, but then literally not care how he goes about playing with his hand-selected, this is now my way to the Super Bowl quarterback. In a game, Ray!
Don't yell.
For effect. I got some yelling to do today. In a game where you're doing everything you want to do offensively. It's not the fourth quarter of a tight game, so you got to hit him with a wrinkle that you'd rather not hit him with, but it's a lever we got to pull, so we're in a situation, break glass in case of emergency, pull the lever. Have Trey Lance keep a couple going up the gut. Have Trey Lance keep a couple going up the gut. In the fourth quarter of a tight game, just to get the offense going, okay, I get it. You're doing everything you want to do with your running backs. You are doing everything you want to do to move the ball. And you want to do this too? I don't understand it. And if Trey Lance wasn't ready to win from the pocket by the time this season got underway, why wasn't there an open quarterbacking competition? Was it because Kyle Shanahan was afraid that Trey Lance would lose that competition?
I think you might be barking up the wrong tree on this. And don't yell at me. I think Jimmy Garoppolo's surgery, combined with Kyle Shanahan's desire to get something in trade for him, blinded him to the possibility that he was going to need him. I think it's a series of accidents that has brought him to this. None of them due to planning. His plan was Jimmy Garoppolo wouldn't be here and Trey Lance would be fine.
Yeah.
And instead, Trey Lance is not fine. Jimmy Garoppolo is here, and he could still end up smelling like a rose.
There's no smelling like a rose for Kyle Shanahan. If that ship has left the port.
Oh, I'm not sure about that. These people will turn around on a dime like they always do if they win 4 games in a row.
Okay, super. But it's not about 4 games in a row. It's about a Super Bowl. Let's say the 49ers actually win the Super Bowl this year.
Okay, let's say they do.
Kyle Shanahan walks to the podium postgame and says, what? All of this is literally the opposite of what I planned.
Yeah.
The guy who just won me a Super Bowl is someone who I couldn't get off my roster fast enough, and through happenstance, he just happens to still be here. That is not good.
No, there's a lesson here, but we have to go to a break.
Look at you, keeping an eye on the clock. Everyone's feeling
I didn't
frisky.
keep an eye on it. Grandy was nagging me.
Yeah, well, he's nagging me, too. He's waving me in like an airplane. So let me just tell you that we're brought to you by BMW Fairfield, now open in the Fairfield Auto Mall. We're also brought to you by the good people down in San Diego. Good feelings, good vibes, Sunshine Coastline. Plan your trip today at sandiego.org. Today's show is mandatory for 49ers fans. 888-957-9570. We have open lines until we get to the Kyle Shanahan conference call, which will be very interesting to hear because you can tell Kyle's very defensive right now. He's bringing up Buffalo like Josh Allen has anything to do with this. And we got Michael Irvin today at 4:45. This is going to be a monster. You're invited to be a part of it. 888-957-9570. Damon and Ratto on a You Got to Be Kidding Me Monday.
It's a Monster Monday on 95.7 The Game.
And Lance is down right now. That was quite the hit. And Jimmy Garoppolo may see early action today in the first quarter.
The Niners are 1-1, and we're reacting all day with Loneal, Michael Irvin, and you.
Oh, my God.
And Kyle Shanahan comes away with the victory for the San Francisco crew.
On the Bay Area sports station, 95.7 The Game.
Hey, Becky, what about this beat for your next song?
It's cool, but I'm into faster stuff lately. Like Xfinity that gives me beyond gig speeds.
Got it. What about this then?
It sounds powerful, just like Xfinity. Because its supersonic Wi-Fi has 3 times the bandwidth, you can connect hundreds of devices at once.
That's what I call power.
Unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Made to do anything so you can do anything.
Get the Xfinity Supersonic Bundle with unlimited gig speed internet, Wi-Fi equipment included, and a free 4K streaming box. All for $50 a month with a 2-year internet rate guarantee and no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile with unlimited data at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/gig, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay. New gigabit extra internet customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. Reduced speeds after 20 gigabytes wireless usage. After 24 months, regular rates apply. Requires compatible Xfinity gateway.
If you owe back taxes to the IRS, have unfiled returns, or are worried about an audit, the IRS is hiring 87,000 new agents to address these very issues. That means if you need to get your tax problems resolved, now is the time to get started. I'm tax attorney Robert Goldstein, and my firm specializes in helping individuals and small businesses resolve their tax problems. We work to stop IRS and state seizures. We may be able to settle your tax debt for pennies on the dollar with an offer in compromise. We prepare your past due returns, even if you have no records, and represent you before the IRS and state in an audit. At the law offices of Robert Goldstein, the consultation is always free, and we have offices located throughout the Bay Area. To schedule your free consultation, call 1-888-TAX-EXIT. That's 888-TAXEXIT. 888-TAX-EXIT. and make us your last stop.
The gamer, the call maker, the experience chaser. What if you could be everything all at once? Galaxy Z Fold 4 is powered by the Snapdragon processor for world-class performance and lightning-fast speed to turbocharge your multitasking. How about an expansive edge-to-edge screen for immersive gaming, hands-free video calls with flex mode, and multi-window view to use up to 3 apps at the same time? With Galaxy Z Fold 4, do more with ease and make multitasking a breeze. Available now at Samsung.com.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured, so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly, different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
The Golf Mart, home of the 90-day 100% satisfaction guarantee, serving Northern California golfers for over 30 years.
Progressive presents Don't Do It Yourself.
Okay, fixing a water heater. Easy peasy.
Oh yeah? So you know how to secure the skiff joint?
Yeah.
Detach the steam pump?
Takes 2 seconds.
And fasten the dew bolt to the pressure tube?
Yeah, my dad taught me how to do that.
Oh, that's interesting, because I made all those things up. Look, we should just bundle our home and auto with Progressive. We could save big, then pay someone to do it for us.
That's cool. This double's the wrong size anyway.
Save when bundling home and auto with Progressive and use the money to, not do it yourself. Coverage from Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep the facility running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, and Maria in Miami, Jules in Minneapolis, and Stan in Central Indiana, taking control of everything that's under your control. At Grainger, we're here for you with experienced branch staff at over 250 locations so you get the product you're looking for. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, Tom Bodette here. Thinking about road tripping to the family reunion. Potato salad, doing battle with the sun, dog crawling all over the cousins, and nothing brings us closer than someone squished in the middle seat. Well, it's a good thing Motel 6 has clean, comfortable rooms at a great low rate. They'll get you out of that minivan so the kids can get all spiffed up before Grandma starts pinching their cheeks. I'm Tom Bodette for Motel 6, and we'll leave the light on. For you.
It's time to say goodnight to that check engine light with the free AutoZone Fix Finder service. It'll help troubleshoot the likely cause of your light for free, so you can drive with peace of mind. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Now back to Damon and Ratto on 95.7 The Game. Brought to you by BMW Fairfield. Now open in the Fairfield Auto Mall. Visit BMWFairfield.com today to book your visit.
There are only really 2 good pieces of news from the weekend for the 49ers. Number 1, defense played great. And if this team is going to go anywhere this year, it's going to be because their defense plays great. Because this offense is going to be a work in progress going forward no matter what. We know that. So defense played great. That is officially good news. And it is definitely officially good news that the 49ers are not 0-2. Over the last 3 NFL seasons, 27 teams have started their seasons 0-2. All 27 missed the playoffs. The 49ers are not 0-2. The Raiders are. What a gut punch.
No, that's not a gut punch. That's a self-inflicted series of wounds that, frankly, they deserved.
I mean, deserve, I don't know, but...
Don't go up 20-0 against a bad team at home and then get outgained in the second half by such a margin that the Cardinals had more yards after halftime than the Raiders did the whole night.
Wow, that's bad. I didn't see that wrinkle to it. How it ended obviously was a disaster. And I can tell you this, that the Raiders in their entire career, their entire franchise history, no matter where the franchise is, have never reached the postseason after an 0-2 start. And that's where they are. So,
well, here's the other one. On the 2-point conversion, after the score that was going to cut it to 8, Kyler Murray ran, according to NFL's Next Gen Stats, ran 84 yards to gain 3.
And that's what a running quarterback does. He runs to either extend a play or evade the defense. They don't use Kyler Murray like a freaking battering ram on the castle's front gate. And that's the way Kyle Shanahan went about using his quarterback in a running game. And it doesn't make any sense to run your quarterback like that. Everything that Trey Lance was supposed to represent has officially now been tarnished. And there's no denying that. Questions about Lance being the guy are now totally grounded. You have every reason in the world to question that. Remember, they went to Trey Lance because Garoppolo essentially couldn't throw the ball very well and couldn't stay healthy. Well, Trey Lance officially now lives in that neighborhood of doesn't throw the ball well enough for his coach to trust him to do it. And he's had 3 injuries now and 4 starts, and a rookie year officially doesn't come into year 3. So if your whole point of, well, we're going to bring in Trey Lance and we're going to build a monster around him because we're going to have a quarterback on a rookie deal, you are 3 years into that window. The development of Trey Lance, I mean, we just don't know. He's damaged goods. And if he's a running back coming off of, or if he's a run-first quarterback, which means you never draft a run-first quarterback. You can't succeed in the NFL with a run-first quarterback. That's been proven infinity times. If you have a run-first quarterback, well, now your run-first quarterback is coming off of a completely compounded fracture. Well, no, it's not. Compound means the bone popped out. So I guess it wasn't a compound fracture, but it was a total break of the fibula with ligament damage. So the timeline to build the monster around his rookie contract is over. The hope that he is just going to be supreme athlete to get you out of all your problems, I don't think you can really count on him being a quality power runner anymore. You shouldn't have counted on him on being that in the very first place. And look, Shanahan has completely stopped coaching Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, I guess he's going to pick it up now that he sort of has to again. But this guy's running scout team. Like, he's not even taking backup reps. There is no backup getting backup reps. And you can really make the argument that since Jimmy Garoppolo got here, he never really improved a day under Kyle Shanahan. He never improved a day. As a matter of fact, I thought that this answer from Jimmy Garoppolo was pretty interesting yesterday when he was asked, like, what's it like to be back? And, well, here's what he said first of all.
Just like riding a bike, yeah. It felt good to be back out there. Feel terrible for Trey. I've been on that side of it. This league is tough, and, you know, everyone has their share of injuries, but that sucks for him, and feel bad for him, but he's our brother, and, you know, we'll pick him up. I saw him for a quick second after, wishing him well. Like I said, I've been there. I'd come full circle in this thing, and it's tough whenever you see a guy get hurt. You feel for him, but Trey's a tough dude. He'll be all right.
So says all the right things, and I'm sure everyone, you know, whether they believed it should be Jimmy to be the quarterback or Trey, is on full what a crying shame for Trey Lance, because it truly is. I mean, the man's career is now, whatever it might have been, it might not be. I mean, that's all I can say. It's impossible to look at him as anything other than damaged goods. It's because he is. I mean, that's the thing. I'm not trying to be rude or crude or nasty about it. He has the type of an injury that is officially a bad thing to have. Whenever football players, whenever your sport is built around your athleticism and the power that you generate through your legs, so I guess this would apply probably to the NBA as much, NHL. Once your ankles, your feet, your knees, and your hips go, you are altered. And this is a serious injury. This is a catastrophic injury that has the man shut down for a year where he was desperately needed to develop. Anyways, here is where Jimmy, I think, might have told us something without trying to tell us something. when he was asked about getting back in there and just letting her rip.
Ecstatic, yeah. Just felt good. We were talking earlier, kind of felt like 2017, where it was, just go throwing, make plays. That's what I like to do. It's different than what we usually do around here, but sometimes you need to do that.
Again, I like throwing it and making plays. That's really not what we do around here. That's an indictment on Shanahan. And if I'm Jimmy Garoppolo, I'm not dancing around Kyle Shanahan in a way that I'm trying to perfectly land my sentence and be careful that I'm not insulting my coach. Because if Kyle Shanahan had his way, Jimmy ain't here anymore. Jimmy's not here. Kyle Shanahan made a decision. Do I want this guy as my quarterback? 100%. I do not want him as my quarterback. I do not want him on my roster. That was Kyle's decision. So he gave up on this player as humanly possible. And now Jimmy's saying, you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of 2017, where I just got here. And this guy's anxiety and desire to control and manipulate every single thing that happens is so ego-driven that I basically got whip scared. Like Kyle Shanahan's whip hand is so significant that he whipped the instincts right out of me. I came here looking to make plays, throw the ball downfield in 2017. By the time Kyle was done with me, I was like a battered woman. I didn't know how to find my own voice anymore. That's what he's saying. Hey, when I got here, I played like that. And then we really don't play like that here, so I had to stop playing like that. That's what he's saying.
Well, whatever he thought was going to happen when he got here, that's as much, him not knowing anything about the coach he was inheriting, because nobody knew anything about what Kyle Shanahan wanted to do. But as
he wanted Kirk Cousins, which again brings us right back to quarterback evaluation.
Well, it's not even a question about quarterback evaluation. It's a question about the law of unintended consequences. You can plan all you want. You can draw it out schematically. You can put, pins up on a board. But ultimately, football is a series of accidents. And the truth is, it's as true for Bill Belichick as it is for Kyle Shanahan. The difference is that Belichick had one thing he could always go to, which was one extraordinary player, and he could double that down with a great defense. The 49ers don't have that extraordinary player, but they have that defense. And ultimately, this could end up being a very good team, not because Jimmy Garoppolo is better than Trey Lance or vice versa. It's because the building blocks of this team are basically running the ball and defending the other team so that it can't score. Maybe that's the lesson here, that the outlier for championships is still Kansas City. That the thing that gets you by more often than not is keeping the other guy from getting 17 points.
Well, that's the way they're going to have to do it.
And I'm not giving Kyle Shanahan credit for that. I'm just saying that based on all the plans that he says he's had, well, none of them have really come to happen the way he meant them to, except the defense. And, whether or not he's the defensive coordinator or not, he's still the guy who brings those guys in. So maybe his genius, if there is genius here, is that he knows how to build a defense. Maybe we've been barking up the wrong tree the whole time.
Well, then why even have a defensive coordinator? If that's his side of the ball, because it's not. That is
maybe he doesn't
history
know
looking for
that's
a
his side of the ball. Maybe that's his general managing skill, is that he can find guys who defend. I don't know. I'm done trying to evaluate what Kyle Shanahan is and what he isn't. He might just be the luckiest SOB there is.
Right, and here we are now. What is this, year 6?
Yeah.
Don't you think we should have sort of our arms around what he is or isn't by year 6?
No, I don't know if we should or not, because A, we've all assumed things that were never in evidence.
Who gets a 6-year window of, I don't know.
Well, a guy who takes a terrible team and gets to a Super Bowl and then a conference final in 3 years. That's the guy who gets 6 years. If they don't go to the Super Bowl in his 3rd year, maybe he's fired after 4. That's another law of unintended consequences. The 49ers have been a bizarre, merry accident for the last 5 years plus. And this is the biggest accident yet.
And it was an avoidable accident. Again, anyone could get hurt on any play. It is a collision sport. It is a brutal sport. Football is here to destroy everyone who plays in their body. It's what it does. It erodes your mind. It erodes your body. Football is officially bad for you. You can get hurt anywhere, anytime. The problem with the play was it coming in on the headset. Kyle cannot send that play into the huddle. It is irresponsible to send that play into the huddle, and he can try to frame it around, well, here's what he said about, you got regrets on that one, Kyle?
Anytime a guy gets hurt, I wish I didn't call that. But no, that's something we were going to do, and something we would continue to do. That's a football play we believe in, and something that gives him a chance to be real successful in this league.
It's the most honest thing he said all day, because he actually did it again with Garoppolo at the end of the game to score a does not matter except for how the score reads in the headline the next day. The game is over, and he's got his backup quarterback, who is now his full-time starting quarterback once again, and he is slamming Garoppolo into the heart of the Seattle goal line defense. Why? You don't have any other way to pick up 3-4 yards? You're not some offensive mastermind. What happened to play action on the goal line? Oh, Dwelly's totally open in the back of the end zone, like every single play action goal line play that's ever been run since the dawn of goal action on the play. The tight end the tight end's always open on a goal line play action play. Always, forever, 100% of the time. Slight exaggeration, but you get what I'm saying. Where is the creativity in any of this red zone offense? Where is the creativity? Where is it?
The creativity, to the extent that it exists, and everybody who is a football nerd about this says so, it's in how he designs his running game.
All right, but that's just use check into the guard tiny. I'm watching here. Here's the thing. I'm watching the entire offensive line. Am I seeing counter trays? Am I seeing pulling guards? Am I seeing all this razzle-dazzle? You don't have time on a goal line to run offensive line razzle-dazzle. That is power football.
Okay.
And when they get into power football, they seem to stall. They seem to kick field goals. Do something. Go 5 wide at the 3-yard line. Pretend you're Kansas City for just a minute. If you want to run your quarterback on a quarterback draw, spread out the goddamn defense so there's not 9 guys in a box, and have your quarterback walk into the end zone behind your center.
But he's not Kansas City. He doesn't think like Andy Reid. This is how he thinks. This is Kyle Shanahan. This is what you got 3 years ago. This is what you got last year. This is who he is. And I think when he decided to draft Trey Lance, he saw in him a guy who eventually, once he became a trustworthy thrower, he could be something other than that Kyle Shanahan. And it turns out either he guessed wrong, or Trey Lance is a slower developer in that area of his game than we thought he was, or maybe Kyle Shanahan just believes in running the ball, period.
All right, we'll use running backs to do that, period.
Well, his best running back is gone for the year.
Jeff Wilson Jr. looked every bit of, I got this, coach. Every bit. He was fantastic. 5-6 yards a pop. Nothing was in his way. Keep running the ball with your running backs. You have a quarterback you're trying to develop into a pocket passer. Ask him to make some passes from the pocket. Move the pocket if he's such a good mobile quarterback. Somebody says here on the Comcast Business text line, Damon, does Kyle get any credit for at least having the foresight to keep Jimmy on the roster? No! No! Kyle had no foresight to keep Jimmy on the roster. Jimmy just stayed on the roster. Kyle did everything, including calling his own agent and saying, trade him for a bucket of balls. We literally have no options left as a front office to trade him. So, Don Yee, you find whatever deal you can, get him out of here. Don Yee's like, can't do it. Nobody's interested. So, by default, by nobody in the NFL being interested, Jimmy just happened to stay here. Kyle did everything. Forget about what he says. Actions. Every single action of Kyle Shanahan was, this guy's off my list of guys I want on my team.
And again, that's why I go back to the law of unintended consequences, which is through no credit of his own, he's backed into a decent quarterback situation, at least for this year, which is all you can worry about. You can't worry about the offseason.
But he can't claim it's a decent quarterback situation. It's one that he was running away from.
It's not a claim. I'm not saying, boy, he really thought of that as a brilliant thing. The only thing he did was notice, you know what, I can't move him anyway. And we're going to have to pay him $7 million. And I don't like Nate Sudfeld, and I don't trust Brock Purdy. He's here, what the hell? That's an accident, too. This is not about foresight. This is about waking up and finding a horseshoe in your pants.
I'll tell you where this does come. Is that a horseshoe in your pants? You're just happy to see me. By the way, the Colts could use a horseshoe in their pants. But look, I'm not second-guessing Kyle Shanahan here. I've been first guessing this is the wrong way to play this quarterback since the Arizona Cardinals game last year. You can't drop the North Dakota State game plan on the NFL and expect to get away with it. It's not going to work. It's not going to translate. By the way, we're officially streaming on Twitch and YouTube. I believe Willard left it up in here. Let's see. That's the most amount of people I've ever seen watching whatever the hell this is. You are looking at a lot of beef between Ratto and I this afternoon.
Gristle.
Yeah, it's well marbled would be a good way to describe this show.
It's just stuff you can't chew. I think everything about this is an accident. And if we're worried about how Kyle Shanahan's vision is, his vision is, oh my God, something else weird happened. Now what do I do? Maybe he's just a great improviser. Maybe he's just plain lucky. But remember,
maybe he's just plain unlucky, considering not a single guy on his team basically can play 10 weeks in a row without ending up in the hospital.
Well, I don't know that they're the most injured team in football because I haven't looked that up.
Sure feels like it, though, doesn't it?
Well, it feels like it because that's the team we look at. But I'd be willing to bet there are other teams that have as significant an injury list as the 49ers do. The point is, over the last, 2 of the last 3 years, they were a Super Bowl contender. This year, they might be one again. This is week 2, and we're losing our minds because there's supposed to be a grand plan, except that there isn't.
Well, the grand plan is completely. The grand plan has been
blown to smithereens.
Exactly,
so
and that's bad.
No, that's not necessarily bad. Maybe it works out through no planning of anybody's. Embrace the chaos. Embrace the accidents.
Then the single most important part of the decision-making process of the San Francisco 49ers is a surgeon.
Neil Elatrache.
Shoulders.
Know that name.
Thank God for that guy.
Well,
Jonan payroll and the shoulder surgeon.
Well, Jimmy's still going to get paid now. He's going to make all those bonuses.
Oh, he's going to have them all. Again, if I'm Jimmy today, I'm saying rip up this new deal. It's nonsense. You pay me in full like you were supposed to. If I'm Jed York, I'm seriously calling Sean Payton. I really am. This is enough to make me give up, to lose an awful lot of confidence in Kyle Shanahan in so many different places. I might give Sean Payton a call, and I also might cross my fingers and wait for Lamar to hit free agency. Because I don't think it's going to be Jimmy. I don't think it's going to be Trey Lance now, unfortunately. And I got a better head coach and a better quarterback who might both be on the market. One definitely is on the market right now. The other might be on the market in, 15 more Ravens games. And again, and now you're in the same running quarterback situation where that guy might get hurt. So maybe that's not the best idea. But anyways, I'm just trying to.
There is no great idea. Everything is, you walk down the sidewalk looking down. Maybe you come across a $20 bill.
I'm sorry. 49ers third-round rookie running back Ty Davis-Price has a high ankle sprain and will be sidelined for a few weeks. It's typically a 4 to 6 weeks injury. Of course he does. Of course he does. He wears a 49ers uniform. Here's the scary thing. Talanoa Hufanga's so awesome. By process of elimination, there's no way he makes it past week 6. He's so good. Anyone who's so good for the 49ers gets hurt in the next 4 weeks. It just happens all the time. Unbelievable.
It is an even-numbered year.
It was a rough Sunday on frickin' ankles. Good Lord. By the way,
maybe it's that terrible artificial turf in Levi.
That's not it. We're brought to you by BMW Fairfield, now open in the Fairfield Auto Mall with over 400 Google reviews, the highest rating of any BMW dealer in the Bay Area at 4.8, baby. Visit BMWFairfield.com today to book your visit. We asked a lot of people to book a visit with us by calling 888-957-9570. This is David in Brentwood. Hello, David.
Hey, Damon. Ray, good afternoon. There's a couple of things with this thing with Kyle and the way he's calling the game. Honestly, I think he kind of painted himself on a corner by trying to be too smart for his own good. Because at the end of the year, for starters, Jimmy signed up for one season. Okay, after this is done, there's no way that he's going to want to come back and play for Kyle. I mean, he's not going to give him a second chance for the guy to screw him a second time. And Trey Lance, I don't think that Trey Lance is ever going to trust this guy over again, not 100%. So he's in a situation where he's either going to have to just draft another quarterback.
Yeah, all data points are bad. David, I'm sorry, I got to you late in a segment, but when we come on back, if you're on hold, we're coming to you. If you're on hold right now, you are going to appear before we get to 4 o'clock. At around 4 o'clock, 4:15, we're going to have the Kyle Shanahan conference call that he's on right now. I wonder, who's got their knives out for Kyle Shanahan? It feels like everybody, and rightfully so. There's an awful lot of questions going on about the very next head coach the 49ers are going to face, Nathaniel Hackett. Can that guy coach? Now, we think we know that Kyle Shanahan can coach, but is he the right guy to be coaching this team? Does he have a feel for his own roster? Does he have a feel for his own quarterback room? Does he have a feel? I don't know. I don't think you can make the argument, yes, he definitively knows the best thing for his team. Because if he didn't think that Trey Lance was the very best pocket passer for his team, he shouldn't have been named QB1. He should not have been. He should not have been named QB1. Where was a quarterback competition in the preseason? Where was one? Where was a legitimate quarterback competition? Or it was just, hey, I made this pick on Lance and I got to be right because I'm the head coach, so I'm going to have an inferior player be named QB1 to feed my own ego. It's insane. Where we are, it's officially insane. We're brought to you.
Great.
It's great. Sports Talk Radio Heaven. Oh, we're there. We're brought to you by Fremont Bank. Full service banking, no compromises.
Your most valuable asset is your time. So why should buying a car eat up your whole day? At BMW of Fairfield, we value your time as much as you do. So once you've decided on your next car and how you want to buy it, we'll have you behind the wheel of your ultimate driving machine and on your way home within 1 hour. There is a better way. Experience it for yourself at BMW of Fairfield. One price, one person, 1 hour.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the peace of mind that comes with Security Edge, helping to protect all your connected devices, and the most reliable 5G mobile network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with fast speeds and advanced security. Together for just $69.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Or find out how to get up to a $650 prepaid card with a qualifying bundle. Limited time offer, restrictions apply. New 50 megabits per second internet and Security Edge customers only. Requires enrollment in EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most RootMetrics 5G data reliability wins in 1H 2022. Results may vary, not an endorsement.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate your car today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, can be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS or go online at carsforkids.org to donate today.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Do you think all premium fuels are the same? Well, your engine doesn't. Shell V-Power Nitro Plus helps keep your engine running like new because it's engineered to defend against 4 main engine threats: gunk, wear, corrosion, and friction. So next time, choose Shell's most advanced fuel ever. It's fuel for thought. In engines that continuously use Shell V-Power Nitro Plus premium gasoline.
Attention veterans. If you were stationed at Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987, you and your family may be victims of toxic water poisoning. Cancers, birth defects, deadly illnesses have all been linked to the contaminated water. Congress is now holding the government accountable. You could be awarded financial compensation for your suffering, but you must act now. Visit sickvets.com for your free case review by True Law. That's sickvets, like veterans.com. sickvets.com. Visit sickvets.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts provides more than just the right parts for your repair. Our professional parts people can also offer free check engine light diagnosis. We can scan your vehicle and provide a list of possible fixes. Find the right parts for you or recommend a great local repair shop. Don't ignore your check engine light. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Come into Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill September 23rd through September 25th for their fall clearance sale event. Take advantage of factory direct prices, one-of-a-kind opportunities, special pricing on floor models, and convenient financing. And save on new appliances from trusted brands like Miele, Bosch, Electrolux, LG, and Maytag. Visit Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill for their fall clearance sale event September 23rd through September 25th for the best time to save on new appliances for your home.
How's your mental health? I'm listening with Alanis Morissette.
When it first started, I would have my nightly panic attacks, but then I started getting really curious about all the sensations. Like, I just really started looking at, okay, so chest is, I got really kind of granular in observing the details of what was really going on with the breath. It's just survival strategy. Chronic stress is trauma.
Join us for Odyssey's I'm Listening 2-hour national mental health conversation, Wednesday, September 21st at 6 p.m. Talk saves lives.
Other banks go out of their way to make redeeming credit card rewards needlessly complicated, like how they require minimums or force you to use your rewards before reaching some arbitrary expiration date. But Discover isn't like that. With Discover, you can redeem your rewards for cash in any amount at any time, so you'll never have to jump through hoops. Unless you're like a trapezist, then by all means, go right ahead. Learn more at discover.com/redeem rewards. Terms apply.
Whew, this feels good.
Why does he feel good? Because he has all the hot water he needs. Now you can catch the feels with a Navien tankless hot water heater. Imagine all the hot water you want for as long as you need. No wasting money and energy. No more cutting that shower short. Just hot water all the time, every time. So feel good. Woo! So good. With a Navien tankless hot water heater. Visit tanklessmadesimple.com to learn more.
Now back to Damon and Ratto. Brought to you by BMW Fairfield on 95.7 The Game.
Download that Odyssey app. You take everything we do, every interview, every show, every host with you right in your pocket when you got the Odyssey app on your phone. Speaking of pockets, I like quarterbacks who stay in pockets, and that's where we are today. At least Jimmy's going to stay in the pocket. At least Jimmy's going to stay in the pocket. We do know that. Welcome back, Damon and Ratto. Some numbskull from the 831 on the Comcast business text line said, Damon, I'm pretty sure that Jimmy couldn't throw during training camp. You actually think before you speak. Yeah, and I know more about the 49ers than you ever will. So let me tell you how it all went down. After Jimmy's shoulder surgery, he was throwing weeks before training camp even began. And then he threw without restriction off to the side every single day of training camp. Jimmy threw every day of training camp without incident, without fail. He just didn't do it with the team because the last thing they wanted him was getting hurt in a practice rep because they were actively trying to trade him. Again, Kyle looks bad because he can't even claim victory on Jimmy still being here. The indifference that he had for Jimmy Garoppolo is so proven by the trade that brought Trey Lance here in the first place, the way that they wanted to trade him. They were angry that he got a shoulder surgery because that prevented them from trading him. They did not want Jimmy Garoppolo until the rest of the NFL world didn't want Jimmy Garoppolo either. And then Kyle's equivalent, Kyle basically said, it came down to this. He's still here. Do you want him? And Kyle's like, fine. Like, that's how enthusiastically Kyle wanted Jimmy on this roster. Sure, I guess so. Better than Nate Sudfeld. All right. That's the only amount of vigor Kyle put into Jimmy coming back. It's the opposite of what he wanted. It's the opposite of the plan that he enacted the night he drafted Trey Lance.
Well, let's consider all the possibilities here. He traded up to get the wrong guy. Traded up to get a guy who was going to be a long-term project, but Shanahan did not have the patience for the long term. Traded up to get a guy who just isn't an accurate thrower. Traded up to get a guy who doesn't have enough of a resume and has way too much to learn. Or he traded up to get a guy who's a born running back. Nobody knows any of this stuff, but everybody was pot committed to what this meant. And in the end, without anybody really knowing what it meant, they found out that what it means is sometimes you make plans that you may as well just blow your nose on because stuff happens.
Oh, God laughs at plans, right? Isn't that what everyone says?
Yeah. I think this is a series of preposterous accidents, most of which might have been, foreseen if you were willing to look at this whimsically. But everybody was pot committed to, no, this is the right thing to do. This is the right thing to do. When this seems like a case to me where stuff just fell from the sky. It's like the Patriots talking about how brilliant they were finding Tom Brady. Except they found him in the 6th round and were just planning for him to be a backup to Drew Bledsoe.
Right, camp arm, basically, is what they drafted.
I think, and I go back to the thing that Bruce Arians said, which is that evaluating quarterbacks is at best a 30% proposition. And I think they took a flyer on the 30% that is Trey Lance, and they took a flyer on the 30% that is there's a market out there for Jimmy Garoppolo because we created one for him.
They don't know how to evaluate quarterbacks, Ray, to the point where they were like, should we even go look at Patrick Mahomes' workout? They're like, nah, he's never going to make it. We're not even going to look at Patrick Mahomes.
A number of teams didn't look at Patrick Mahomes for the same reason. They looked at him and said, that's not an NFL quarterback. The truth is, in this case, they fell in love with a guy over the internet, essentially.
They really did. I don't think there's much exaggeration to that.
No, and I think maybe that is the genesis of everything that's happened ever since, is that they drafted a guy because they liked him better than all the other quarterbacks they could get.
Well, here's the deal. Did the internet make them walk away from Jimmy?
No.
No, I know, but I'm just asking.
This is the genesis of it. Everything since then has been a set of weird accidents, for lack of a better term. And I think they are at a place right now where they're trying to make a delicious sandwich out of meat that looks kind of spoiled and gray. And it might work. It might weirdly work.
Hey, they might be a better team right now than they were on Saturday.
Yeah, and then maybe they go out and draft another quarterback this coming year. Who the hell knows?
They probably should.
Yeah, strap in, because nothing you believe about the 49ers is necessarily true.
No, but everything that I keep on saying out loud happens. Like, when every single beat writer, every single person who covers this team was 100% saying, Damon, stop talking about Jimmy Garoppolo. There's zero chance they're going to keep him around. And I kept on saying, well, they should totally keep him around. What are you, out of your minds? No, Damon, that can't happen. Just stop talking about it. It happened. The whole, they're running him way too much. And I heard Kyle say this, and this is something else from Kyle. I want to make sure I got the right one here. Shanahan, here we go.
Just because, you guys watch other teams in this league, and Buffalo does it all the time. Their quarterback's pretty normal play, part of football, and it's unfortunate that he hurt his ankle on it, but it's very normal ran play. You guys should watch some other people.
No, it wasn't a normal play at all. Most of the time on an RPO, the quarterback has the option to take the ball around the corner, and you're asking your running back to go up the middle. They designed this one as the flip-flop of that. And I can tell you this right now, there is a distinct difference between designed runs for a quarterback versus scrambles. The number of designed runs for a quarterback in his first full season, and this is with all the data that Pro Football Focus provides, Josh Allen had a designed quarterback run in his first full season, 71 of them. Trey Lance was on pace for 153. Kyle, you're doing it too much. You're asking your quarterback to run at an abnormal, throughout the history of football, professional football level. Not Lamar Jackson, not Jalen Hurts, not Kyler Murray, not Michael Vick was asked to run as much in his first year as Trey Lance was on pace to run this year. That's malpractice.
Here's where you lose me. The numbers from last week I throw out because of the conditions, which we agreed last week were way abnormal.
Sure, we're going back to they played it inside in Arizona, and he ran 16 times in his first start.
If you want to talk about that, fine, I'm ready to listen. But throw out the last game. The last game has no bearing to football as we know it.
Let's use just yesterday. He's run 3 times, and we are midway through the first quarter. You extrapolate that out to 4 quarters. He's looking at 12-plus runs yesterday, Ray.
Okay, fine. All I'm saying is, if you're going to use total stats for Trey Lance, it makes no sense in my mind to include the Chicago game. It's the only point I'm trying to make.
Well, but again, now, I'm just putting all the stats together. I'm not going to be selective about which ones I pick and choose to use.
But if you're looking at a game that's so abnormal that there's nothing to be drawn from it, that should just be a universal. That said, this might also simply be a matter of Kyle Shanahan believes in the quarterback running. And maybe that's reckless, but maybe that's what he believes is the counter to where football is allegedly going. Because a lot of teams like to throw the ball a lot, and they don't do it well.
Somebody here says, Damon, stop acting like a coach. You'll never be one. The style of offense that the 49ers are running right now, I could do that. I'm dead serious. I could do that. Never a 4 wide receiver set, rarely a 3 wide receiver set. Power football, that's high school. What the 49ers are doing right now is the NFL equivalent of high school football. I'm sorry. Well, with this really creative running game. All right, I bet you I could design a creative running game too. How many creative ways can you actually do it? We're going to pull 1 guard, 2 guards. We're going to pull guard tackle. We're going to go counter Trey. I used to watch Redskins football. I know about power, offensive line driven football. I get it. I could do this. Where's Kyle Shanahan coming up with all this pre-snap motion, all this sophisticated design to find all of these? I'm going to pick upon that weak spot in the defense. Where's any of that? Throw the ball or hand the ball to Deebo Samuel. Does that take a genius? 888-957-9570. I feel like we've said an awful lot. Let me welcome everyone to your 4 o'clock hour, just about a minute early here, and then we're taking calls. Let's go.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco. Always live on Twitch, YouTube, and the free Odyssey app. Damn well better be free.
Here we go. This is Aaron in Oakland. Aaron, you're on 95.7 The Game. Hello.
Hey, Damon, keep spitting the truth, man. Keep spitting it. You are dead on. Shanahan has outlived his usefulness with his franchise. All he does is get players hurt. And if we just look at 6 years, man, 40-43 with a trip to the Super Bowl and a trip to the conference finals. Show me a ring. Never developed a quarterback. Running back stay hurt. He's always got a master plan. I've been calling this dude Wile E. Coyote all year. It's not working. It's not working, man. This ain't pick up, run the fumble rookie. He's an offensive coordinator. That's who he is. The reason you have a head coach over him is to check his wildness. Yeah, you manage him like you manage a player. 12 penalties game 1, that's coaching. 12 run plays game 2, that's a problem, guys. It doesn't work. Now Trey's hurt. It's just not head coach material, and he's not going to want to hear this. But he's going to go down in history as probably one of the most disliked coaches San Francisco's ever had, guys. I just think that because he's had so much potential in all the pieces. That's all I got.
You got a lot, Aaron. Thank you. Look, if your confidence isn't shaken, you're just not paying attention. Because when we're talking about the grand plans, not the stuff in the details and all the little things around a football team that can buoy it or take it apart. The grand plan, the number one plan of this man's career has so now thoroughly blown up. And that to me was just a stupid way to use your quarterback this early in his career. Why are you running someone that hard, that up the middle against linebackers looking to take his head off in the first quarter of a Week 2 game against an opponent that on paper you're supposed to beat? And they did. They kicked Seattle's rump yesterday. But for the blocked field goal returned for a touchdown, the Seahawks basically do nothing all of yesterday.
Oh, they had the ball for 21 minutes.
Exactly. They got dominated. So when you're dominating a team like that, you don't need to run the highest risk plays we have in our playbook. You know, it's all about exposure. How much are you exposing your guys to injury? And someone says here right now, Damon, if Debo gets hurt running the ball, you going to blame that on Kyle too? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. You better not ask Debo Samuel to now be Ty Davis Price and have a 15-20 carry game. I would be asking Debo to run with the ball less than ever before, starting right freaking now if I am Kyle Shanahan. You want to run the ball? There's this. Guess what? The name's even in the position. They're called running backs. Let them run the ball. Let them run the ball. And again, if Trey Lance is such a good running quarterback, every single defensive read that a quarterback needs to make on a read option, he read wrong. The linebacker's eyes were over him, the safety's eyes were all over him, and the defensive end, who's the key to the entire thing, was crashing. That means you hand it off. So, what's the part of that play that Lance got wrong? The decision to keep it. What's the part of the play that Kyle Shanahan got wrong? The decision to even send it into the huddle. You can talk about you guys watch football more than anyone. You guys watch football on another team. Yeah, and every single person in Buffalo says, stop running Josh Allen like this. We're trying to win a Super Bowl. When you got a defense like Buffalo's got, when you got all those playmakers that Buffalo's got, stop exposing Josh Allen like that. I mean, come on. Mr. Jones, calling from Atlanta. Hello, Mr. Jones.
What's up? So, hey, my brother, I love you. You are preaching the soul gospel to the people of the day. Boy, you preaching gospel. I've been saying this stuff, what you've been saying, since we got to the NFC Championship and they tried to trade the dude away. I've been saying this from day one, what you've been saying. You preach the gospel today, bro, because I'm like you said, Shanahan hasn't raised any quarterbacks, right? Every quarterback he's ever drafted, they've all been trashed. The only one that we got that is good is the one that he asked for, that he's trying to mysteriously trade away for some reason, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I'm smoking good stuff in the Bay, and I guess he probably is too sometimes.
The best.
You know what I'm saying?
We got the loud.
So, the same thing is like, okay, like you said, we have running backs. He goes and gets all these running backs every year, right? And then want to run the kids that you spent 3 first-round picks on, but you want to run him when you got all these running backs you keep drafting every year.
Right.
I don't know what it's. I've been blaming Shanahan actually since when he was in Atlanta and he blew the Super Bowl.
I knew you were going to bring that up as soon as I saw your destination, Mr. Jones. Look, I'm not going to hold the Super Bowl against Kyle Shanahan.
That's Dan Quinn's.
That is Dan Quinn's clock. It is Dan Quinn's office. It's Dan Quinn's loss. Kyle Shanahan doesn't get scored an L in that one. I'm not going to put that on him. I'm not. I'm only evaluating what I'm seeing right here in San Francisco. And I'm telling you, it ain't good enough. It just isn't. Somebody trying to be clever here, and thanks for the call, Mr. Jones. Somebody says here, after my whole point of, the key word of running back, it's even in the position. Somebody says, well, then why is it called quarterback? The key word isn't back. The key word is quarter. Where do you keep your quarters, Ray? In your pocket?
I used to.
There you go. Run with your running back. Keep your quarters in your pocket. It's all right there in the damn position.
Keep your quarters in your pocket?
Yes. Where do you keep your quarters? You keep them in your breast pocket?
No, I tend to keep them in a jar. I don't want to carry change around with me.
You've never been handed change after a cash transaction. You're always paying exact cash.
No, I'm usually paying with a card.
Okay. Thanks for playing along.
Well, no, I just don't know what you mean by keep your quarters in your pocket. Please don't get out.
I have a quarter in my pocket.
Please don't get out of your chair.
Quarter, pocket.
No,
it's a pocket joke.
Please sit
it's
down.
A pocket joke. It's a quarter pocket. I was looking to see if I had a quarter in my pocket. I was going to demonstrate to you.
Okay, I just needed you to explain that.
What I had.
What? Don't yell. It's okay. We're fine.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm fine. I'm not going to have another stroke today. I freaking promise you.
That's about a 70% shot right now.
We're going to save the stroke for the Brock Purdy start, which is coming in 3 weeks.
And I think Christmas comes then.
Hold on. This is Andrew in Seattle. Andrew, how are you, Andrew?
Hi. So I called last week about what I would have to sacrifice to get a 49ers win. I didn't expect it to be Trey Lance's ankle, when I made that call. But I just think in listening to you guys, it doesn't even sound like Trey even knows how to run the ball in the NFL. Like, he got himself injured in Arizona. He's, said that his neck was sore after running in Chicago. And yesterday, he just doesn't seem like he knew how to avoid contact and run to avoid injuries. And it seems like Kyle should have picked up on that before he, was planning on running him 15 times a game. So that just seems like a double mistake by Kyle. And my other question for you guys is, it seems like Kyle's a great offensive coordinator and great at running offenses and even great at running a team.
Then how come this team always stalls in the red zone? How come I'm watching Robbie Gould jog out whenever they get a ball inside the 5-yard line? I mean, here's the thing. Like, this is what happens when you start losing confidence. You start losing confidence everywhere. It's like there is a hole blown in the dike, and now the whole dam is about to come apart. Like, I'm looking at Kyle Shanahan in a different light this morning. I truly am. I think we all are.
Well, see, but I've never bought into the idea that he's a magnificent offensive mind. What I've thought was that he can design a great running game and create a great defense, because those are the two strengths of this team and have been for the last 3 years. And the caller made an interesting point, is that Lance might have been the one to screw that up by not knowing when to get rid of the ball. But it does raise the question, if he's not sure how to do that, isn't that a high-risk play? Why wouldn't you keep it even simpler than that? And I think that's a legitimate point.
Just hand the ball off to your running back. And somebody, again, Damon, you just proved your ignorance. It's quarterback, halfback, and fullback. It's the distance from the center. I know if you think the whole pocket, put a quarter in your pocket thing was like my really trying to explain it to you, like you must have just fallen off the turnip truck.
Well, you threw me. Well, which is why you got out of the chair and threatened to beat me.
I didn't threaten to beat you. I wanted to take a quarter out of my pocket. Most people are ready to beat you on a meeting you, Ray.
Nah, they usually just avoid me.
Did you have fun this weekend, though?
It was okay.
Good.
I
you had a 3-day
plenty.
weekend? You had drank plenty? Good.
Yep.
Stain your teeth purple?
No, I tend to brush.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Thanks
for that check on dental hygiene, though.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm here for.
I think the Lance thing yesterday, might have been another indication of one more thing that he doesn't know yet. That maybe stuff happens too fast at this level, and he hasn't absorbed that speed yet.
He's certainly not used to absorbing NFL linebacker contact. Normally, you got a quarterback running. He's around the edge, and he's dealing with cornerbacks. And it's a little bit more of a fair fight from a physical standpoint. NFL linebackers are built to destroy quarterbacks who are dumb enough to run up the middle. And I'm not saying that this was Lance dumb enough running up the middle. It was a dumb play call that asked him to. This is Ryan in San Francisco. Real quick, Ryan, what do you got?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So as controversial as this is going to sound, I honestly, and I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus because Jimmy G's a really good quarterback. I actually put him ahead of Dak Prescott. But I'm a big Trey Lance fan. And the minute I started seeing these plays ever since the Bears game, I said, you know what? I don't want to put words into anyone's mouth, but this looks like Shanahan's doing it intentional. I mean, no other quarterback in the league run down the middle, especially like you guys are saying, especially against these built linebackers or defensive tackles. No one's going to do it. Even Josh Allen, Mahomes always goes to the sideline. But Lance's, all of his plays that were runs were literally down the middle. I mean, you were putting him in danger knowing he's a young QB. I mean...
Well, hold on. Ryan, thank you so much for the call, man. I really appreciate you listening and calling in today. Thank you so much for your time. I will say this. The one thing that I'm not on board with is that Kyle wanted his QB1 hurt. That did not happen. He did not intentionally hurt his quarterback by design just to get the other guy in there. The only thing that needed to happen if he wanted to play the other guy was him saying, all right, other guy, get in there. He didn't have to get anybody hurt. So when we come on back, are we going to go to the Kyle conference call in just a little bit? I know that we are about a half an hour away from saying hello to Michael Irvin, and that should be a good one when we talk to the playmaker a little bit later on. It's Damon, it's Ratto, it's more of your calls, 888-957-9570. So much more coming up, and we're brought to you by Chilton Auto Body.
Have you been in a car accident? Chilton Auto Body has 15 convenient Bay Area locations to help restore your vehicle to pre-accident condition. Chilton Auto Body is also actively hiring for all positions. For more details, head to ChiltonAutoBody.com, the Bay Area's leader in collision repair.
Talk saves lives. Join us for Odyssey's I'm Listening Special, our annual 2-hour national mental health conversation, Wednesday, September 21st at 6 p.m. You'll hear from Drew Robinson, whose story is one you have to hear. Former Heisman Trophy winner Ricky Williams will also join us to talk about his struggles. The 2-hour special is a constructive and supportive conversation about our mental wellness. I'm Listening, Wednesday, September 21st, starting at 6 p.m. right here on 95.7 The Game and on the free Odyssey app. For more, visit I'mListening.org. Remember, talk saves lives.
Hey, Becky, what about this beat for your next song?
It's cool, but I'm into faster stuff lately. Like Xfinity that gives me beyond gig speeds.
Got it. What about this then?
It sounds powerful, just like Xfinity. Because its supersonic Wi-Fi has 3 times the bandwidth, you can connect hundreds of devices at once.
That's what I call power.
Unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Made to do anything so you can do anything.
Get the Xfinity Supersonic Bundle with unlimited gig speed internet, Wi-Fi equipment included, and a free 4K streaming box. All for $50 a month with a 2-year internet rate guarantee and no annual contract when you add Xfinity Mobile with unlimited data at regular rates. Go to Xfinity.com/gig, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and autopay. New Gigabit Extra internet customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Xfinity Mobile requires post-pay Xfinity internet. Reduced speeds after 20 gigabytes wireless usage. After 24 months, regular rates apply. Requires compatible Xfinity gateway.
Everything, our farm, our stand, our pop-up shop, it really all started when we discovered the benefits of local, raw honey for our family.
And then we decided to turn it into a business.
We were looking for something to help us get up and running.
So we got the Chase Business Complete Banking Account.
It's more than a bank account. It comes with Quick Accept, which lets us take card payments anytime, anywhere in the U.S. using the Chase mobile app. Plus, we get same-day deposits at no extra cost. For us, it's more than honey. It's about sharing a little sweetness with the world.
Get the Chase Business Complete Banking Account with the essentials you need to help get your business going. Learn more at chase.com/business-complete-banking. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Quick Accept is not available in U.S. territories. Enrollment required. Usage subject to approval. Same-day deposits available for payments before 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday to Friday. Fees and rates apply for checking and processing. Limitations and restrictions apply. Participants compensated. Merchant services provided by Payment Tech LLC and WePay Inc. Subsidiaries of J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Are you looking for a rewarding new career? Join the United States Postal Service and apply for roles nationwide. Serve your community with pride and receive benefits including competitive pay and opportunities for advancement. Whether you are looking for full-time, part-time, or seasonal positions, we have options that may be perfect for you. The United States Postal Service is an equal opportunity employer. Apply now at USPS.com/careers.
If you own a business, this has been a bumpy ride. From pandemic to inflation, I'm sure you could use a break. If your business has 5 or more employees and survived COVID, you may be eligible to receive a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. The challenge is getting your hands on it. Hi, I'm Howard Mackler, and that's why I founded GetRefunds.com to cut through the red tape and get you the money. The team of tax attorneys we have put together are highly trained in this little-known payroll tax refund program. We do all the work, charge not a dime up front, and simply share a percentage of the cash that we get for you. Businesses of all types can qualify, including those that took PPP, nonprofits, and even those that had increases in sales. We have helped return over $1 billion to businesses, and we can help you too. Just go to GetRefunds.com, click on Qualify Me, and answer a few questions. This payroll tax refund is only available for a limited period of time. Don't lose out on up to $26,000 per employee. Go to GetRefunds.com. That's GetRefunds.com.
Dell Technologies' semi-annual sale has arrived, and it's time to upgrade to the latest business technology. Save big on laptops and desktops with Windows 11 Pro. Plus, get amazing deals on server, storage, and cloud solutions, as well as top work accessories, including docks, monitors, and more. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL for special business offers during our semi-annual sale.
Man, I slept.
New ZQuil Pure Z's Restorative Herbal Sleep is made for people who are tired of being tired.
I've never slept like this before. I've never woken up like this before.
A melatonin-free sleep aid made with a botanical blend that contains clinically studied and effective valerian root, hops, and passion flower, shown to help promote better restorative sleep. ZQuil Pure Z's Restorative Herbal Sleep. Sleep this good. Feel this good. Available at retailers near you.
You can't get much for $5 these days, unless you go to Wendy's for a $5 Biggie Bag. Get your choice of double stack, junior bacon cheeseburger, or crispy chicken BLT, plus 4-piece nugs, fries, and a drink, all for just $5.
You got that bag, you got that Biggie Bag, you got that bag.
That was smooth, wasn't it? That's how you're gonna feel when you get that Biggie Bag at Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Includes 4-piece nuggets, small soft drink, and small fry. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
San Rafael will be cloudy with a chance of rain, low of 58.
Brought to you by Ashley Furniture. Your neighborhood Ashley store has all the styles, selection, and value you'll need to invite fall in this season. Find furniture you'll love by shopping locally or visit ashley.com today.
Now back to Damon and Ratto, brought to you by BMW Fairfield on 95.7 The Game.
So we got treats for you all day. We're going to give you a treat in about 12 minutes. We're going to hear Kyle Shanahan's press conference, his conference call, I guess we should call it, from today with the Bay Area media. Another treat coming up after we're off the air from 6 to 7 o'clock. It is Sean Salisbury and Lorenzo Neal with the Football Hour. And if there was ever a night you needed to hear from two guys who played in this league, tonight is the night. So the Football Hour comes up at 6 o'clock tonight. We have Michael Irvin joining us at 4:45. The Hall of Famer knows things. We're going to get into everything that happened yesterday with him. Real quick, from the YouTube page, chat, if you will. Somebody says, Damon said he'd rather lose with Trey than win with Jimmy. That's all you need to hear. No, it's not. Because what you don't understand at all, Zickle01, whatever your handle is, get a better handle, for God's sakes, if you're going to post in public. What that meant was it's better to go through the growing pains of Trey Lance right now than to postpone the growing pains, which are 1,000% coming. Had they gone through the growing pains all last year with Trey Lance, are you in the NFC title game? The answer is probably not. And if you're not in the NFC title game, Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't get hurt, and you probably trade him, and you're off to business as usual. Going to year 3 is now when Trey Lance is going to go through his growing pains. So the growing pains didn't happen last year. They're not going to happen this year. You hope that they happen next year. So by maybe year 4, which means you have 2 years left on a rookie deal, it'll happen. It'll happen. Trey Lance was never about to win a Super Bowl in his first season as a full-time starter. Now his first season as a full-time starter doesn't even happen until next year, if indeed at all. So that's what I meant when I said I'd rather lose with Trey than win with Jimmy. If you know you got a Band-Aid to take off, the best way to take it off is just rip it off. And if you got a third pick in the NFL draft that you invested more draft capital than any pick in the history of the franchise, your direction is that direction immediately. It should be anyways. And Kyle Shanahan could try to play this for I have no regrets. He'd be lying. If we sodium penthetholed Kyle, he would be lying. He knows he should have played Trey Lance all of last year to find out, or he was afraid that if he did, he would be exposed as someone who picked the wrong quarterback, so he didn't, and he put it off to this year, in which case, why didn't he learn that the guy that he was trying to get rid of was still better than the guy that he was trying to install as QB1? He went from often hurt quarterback he didn't trust to throw in to another now often hurt quarterback he doesn't trust to throw.
That, to me, is the crux of it, is that he doesn't trust Trey Lance yet. But I think when he drafted him, he thought this was not as big a project as it's turned out to be.
All promise, here's what I love about this guy. I love his attitude. I love everything. And guys who you love deeply sometimes don't work out.
Yeah, and if that's the case, and I'm not suggesting that I know it is, if that's the case, the thing that has to be remembered here is not how much capital you gave up to move up in the draft that's already done. It's that there's another draft coming every year. And if you make a mistake with a guy, as you usually do, because the draft is more inexact than it is science, and that 80% of guys who are drafted never see the light of day, then you just get the next one. You just get the next one.
Well, hopefully he'll be waiting for the Niners to just come get him in the second round because they gave up a first-round pick for this one.
Well, then you go out, if you're really worried about it, then you go out and you get it, you make another deal to get back in the first. Because nothing is insoluble. Teams in cap hell always end up starting the next year in cap compliance. You just do what you have to do that. And that's why the whole thing about all the draft capital they gave up to get Trey Lance. Okay? Get more capital. It's not impossible to do. Teams do it all the time. If you made a mistake with a guy, you don't need to reinforce it. The point is, though, they don't know if they made a mistake.
You just can't walk away from a quarterback. This isn't a guard. This isn't an easily fixable spot.
No, but if it's not a guy who's going to work for you, and what I'm suggesting is they still don't know whether he's fixable or not.
Right, but it's terrible to not know in year 3 whether or not this guy can even play.
Well, I mean, those are the cards they're dealing with, and that's what they'll face.
So are you ready for the guy who you don't know if he can play or stay healthy to be QB1 next year? Because that's who you got.
Well, that's what you got. It's not a question of whether you're ready. That's the hand you've dealt yourself.
But with Jimmy on the roster, he did have the option of, I'm not going to play him until he's ready. He decided he was ready before he was actually ready, and I think that is a little bit of the truth that's coming out right here.
That might very well be true. Although we won't actually know how ready he was or wasn't.
Again, and I got a problem who can't evaluate quarterback depth chart on his own team. Forget about trying to pick the next great quarterback out of college. When you don't understand the pecking order in your own QB room, that isn't good. And that's where we are. This is Paul in Pleasanton. Paul, you're on 95.7 The Game.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. So kind of my thinking is I don't think Shanahan needs to be fired for this. This team is, primed for Super Bowl just based on first 2 weeks. I can't think of a single team the 49ers can't take on. But what is needed is in the corporate world, a lot of times presidents and CEOs get called to a board of directors meeting, not to get fired, but to be told to change course, and that's something like that is needed between Jed York and Shanahan.
Well, this is I kind of brought this up, Paul, when we had Mike Holmgren on last Friday when Larry was in for Ray. And I don't know if Kyle Shanahan should be the general manager of this football team. And if you're Jed York, I think you are absolutely within your right to say, Kyle, I believe you have an awful lot to offer the 49ers as a head coach. But as a general manager, you have done too much. So we are going to now give that title to John Lynch, who you're still going to work. And you're going to have a very big voice in all decisions. But the final decision is no longer yours when it comes to roster construction. I would be pulling Kyle Shanahan into my office at the end of this year if I were Jed York and having that conversation. And I don't think, what's Kyle going to do? Say, I got a contract.
Which he does. Then he has a choice. You either
there's ways around that, exactly.
Or you pay him off.
Yeah. Again, Sean Payton, just out there. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate the call. This is George. Oh, in the jungle. Hello, George. You're on 95.7 The Game. Yo, George. Great call.
It's clearly not in the jungle.
Somebody said York and Lynch told him to pick Trey on the text line. I don't.
Stop it.
Number one, I don't know that, and you don't know that. You can assume that. And I'll tell you this: if that really did happen, yet another reason to have no confidence in Kyle Shanahan. I mean, really, I'm not subscribing to that. But if I were to, what we're saying is this guy has no conviction. Unless he's sending in a completely ridiculous running play in the first quarter of week 2 for a quarterback.
No, Jed York did not do that. I'd absolutely risk what little career I have on that. Jed York is not a football guy, and he did not hire a guy to have complete control of the place so that he could tell him who to draft. That's nonsense.
I wonder if there was a level of internal combined with external pressure.
Where's the external pressure coming from?
Just the world of football. Saying that you might want to circle back to Mac Jones, possibly Justin. By the way, they dodged a bullet in Justin Fields. I don't think Justin Fields is going to turn into a great NFL quarterback ever. I just don't think that's going to happen. I'm glad they didn't draft Justin Fields. But you see what the Bears are doing? They're playing him. Because they're going to find out whether or not you really can keep going forward or not. You just got to keep going with that guy. No matter how much he struggles, it is a sink or swim. You have started, 12, 13 NFL games? We're going to give you 20 starts, 30 starts before we officially make our decision. But like all Bears quarterbacks, it won't work out. And in the meantime, we're back wearing Gucci.
Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang.
Kelly is in San Mateo. Kelly, what do you got?
Hey, man, I just wanted to know. First, I want to say Jimmy G is an all-time history, in the NFL history, best team player ever to back up a rookie. He helps players get paid. With that being said, I want to know, where did the playbook go, Shanahan? You got this big quarterback with a big arm, and I'm expecting the third play to be a 60-yard bomb to somebody. You know where our playbook went to? It went to the Commanders. If you take a look at what the Commanders did week 1.
I'll tell you where your playbook went. Your playbook went to Miami. I mean, Mike McDaniel has already groomed Tua into the best version of Tua we've seen since the day he got carted off the field with his hip injury in Alabama. And that's the scary thing. What if it was Mike McDaniel who really knew what to do and was a little bit of a offensive whisperer? Because things have gotten more boring since Mike McDaniel left. I mean, we've only got a 2-game sample size, and one of them we keep on saying you didn't learn anything because the weather was that bad. But yesterday was watching paint dry from an NFL offensive output standpoint. Debo had one explosive play. You had an efficient running game, which meant there was no reason to ask your quarterback to run it. But you had Debo get that one big pop play. Ayuk had his one big early reception. And then, hey, where's rookie Danny Gray, right? Where's that guy? Where's the speed demon who's going to run past everyone and take lids off of defenses and ask to throw the ball to him? Not even out there. By the way, probably should have played Jordan Mason a little bit, considering Ty Davis-Price is now done for maybe 4 to 6 weeks with a high ankle sprain. Who doesn't get hurt? That's the Niner way. And oh, by the way, I see we got more people on hold. What we need to do, though, is get to this Kyle Shanahan conference call. We pick it up with a question about Jimmy's health last season and how that impacted Kyle Shanahan's play calling.
Kyle, did you have to constrain some of the play calling for Jimmy last year when he was playing with those 2 injuries hurt? And, by extension, yesterday, how nice was it to have him back healthy and with full confidence and ability to throw downfield?
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, you always got it. When guys have certain things, quarterback especially, but all players, you always want to know what they can do the best, what they're hurting from, and you always try to put them in the best situation possible. And Jimmy had a number of games where he wasn't 100% healthy, but, he got him back fully yesterday, and I was glad that he was ready. He came in there, I thought, did a hell of a job for us, and was real pivotal in helping us get that win.
Because Jimmy's still familiar with the offense, he said that he got some play calls that he wasn't familiar with, but you felt you were comfortable enough with him being out there just because he's still familiar?
No, that's the case for the number 2 quarterback all the time. There's plays that they don't get a rep. They just get to see the starter rep it. You try to get them on the side, you try to get them on air. They do a lot of stuff they try to carry over to the looks for the defense that they try to give, but very rarely does the second team guy get any reps, let alone rep all the plays. So there's a few plays that he had to do for the first time out there, and he did them well.
How with Trey, obviously the surgery being done now, what is, I don't know if you've gotten this far, but what is the plan for him in terms of, how much he'll be around, where he'll do his rehab, things like that?
I'm sure he's going to be around here all the time and do his rehab here. We haven't even discussed that, but I'd be shocked if it wasn't that case. So, right now, he's got out of surgery a little bit ago. I know we're all just kind of worried about him and making sure that he's doing all right mentally and physically. Talk to him here real soon. I know some guys have been over there to already visit him. But yeah, we're not sure yet. But as soon as he can get back in here and start rehabbing, we're going to want him a part of everything. Every meeting he can be at, every practice he can be at. I know he's not going to be able to do all of that because of how much he's got to rehab, but especially in those meetings and stuff, we don't plan on Trey being away from us at all. Whenever he's not taking care of his ankle, we plan on being with us.
Is the expectation that he'll be ready for week 1 next year, or is it too soon to say?
I would assume so. I don't think it's that long of I haven't actually got to talk to the doctors exactly after the surgery, but I've never heard them saying that it would be that long.
Kyle, I have a sense you'd like another quarterback running question.
I'm good with it. Go. Actually, the more the better, so I can help educate.
I'm eager to get your tutorial here. As far as, given the situation now with Jimmy and obviously Brock Purdy, who you believe in, but obviously is totally inexperienced behind him. It's football, as you say, but did you have any kind of trepidation about calling a quarterback sneak with kind of the game in hand at the end there with Garoppolo?
You think a drop back play is more risky than a quarterback sneak? So those are the things that really confuse me. I see guys get killed in the pocket on dropbacks, and I've never had a quarterback get hurt on a sneak before. It doesn't mean it can't happen. It is football, and that's what I mean by that. You can get hurt on any single play. It seems that we only get interested when he's carrying the ball of where he gets injured, and that's the whole thing, that there's a risk-reward with everything. But, to now throwing sneaks in there, too, because of the time in the game is really surprising to me.
What about the zone read for Jimmy Garoppolo down by the goal line? That was much more dangerous than a quarterback sneak.
Yeah, we gotta read the DN a little bit better and get some work at that. So yeah, when the DN does take the quarterback, you hand it off. So that's stuff we got to do. But like that's a very normal play in all of football at all levels for everybody. I'm surprised you guys haven't seen some of the quarterbacks run zone read on us when Andy Dalton walks in the end zone from the 10-yard line, or Kirk Cousins does, or a lot of the guys who do run that stuff. And when you're not accounting for the quarterback, it's a pretty normal thing.
Are you looking at just surprised because there was no backup? Because, Trey was over. That's the only reason people were surprised by it. The score, the time of the game, the fact that Kyle Juszczyk was the next man up. And you said you wanted the question, so we just putting it out there. But I think that's enough.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a great question. That's why we did it. Surprise you guys. Usually when people are surprised, it works for them.
Kyle, you've suggested, you said Brock Purdy would be the number 2 if you didn't get Jimmy back. I assume he's the number 2 now. Does that just mean that you have full confidence that if you needed him to play, if you need him to start a bunch of games, you have full confidence in Brock Purdy?
Yeah. That's why we chose him as our number 2 going in the year. And I feel great about Brock regardless. But there's not just like a store where you just go get quarterbacks at any time. Same thing with running backs. So, it's like every other position, guys. When guys get hurt, who's on your roster and then who's on your practice squad. And we had 3 quarterbacks in our roster, fortunately. So that's why I'm very glad that we didn't risk Brock and lose him, because that'd be a huge problem right now. That's stuff that we had to do with backs. So we could do it with the quarterback, and that's the position that you end up getting in. So it's close to happen to us at tight end. So now we're here at quarterback, and we'll see what's out there. We definitely need to get a guy in here for practice squad, because we do need a third man up in case something happens, because he's 1 play away from being the backup and he's 2 plays away from being our starter. So you got to plan that at every position, and quarterback obviously being the most important.
Was George Kittle close to playing Sunday?
Yeah, he was close. That's why we took it that far. But obviously wasn't able to go, and I'm glad we didn't, because I think he could have got through the game, but there was going to be a higher risk of him re-injuring that, and to be able to pull that game off and still get a win, then I'm very glad with the decision we made, and that should give him a much better chance to be good to go this week.
Kyle Shanahan, his weekly conference call with the media, he tries to explain away this run like, oh yeah, this happens all the time. Look, to use Jimmy in a slam him into a Seattle goal line defense, why not use Jeff Wilson? You have other guys to use as human battering rams. Why not use someone else? Especially, he just said, look, if we go out and sign a third guy who's never even practiced with us, that guy is 2 plays away from being our starting quarterback. Why would you then, in a game where you lost your starting quarterback, risk the health of your now backup quarterback who's back to being your starting quarterback? I just don't understand it. Risk, reward. Oh, I know. They needed that touchdown to win the game. Oh, no, excuse me. No, they didn't. That game was in the barn. They could have taken a knee and not scored. They win. They win.
They'd even covered.
I just don't understand it. Like, this guy is just trying so hard to know more than football about anybody. Well, and look, this Buffalo Bills game that's on right now is going to be a fascinating watch tonight, because I am going to be counting how many times Josh Allen is running in between the guards on a quarterback draw power play, on an RPO quarterback draw. Somebody here on the text line, 707, says, yeah, so I do watch other teams, just like Kyle asked us to, and I'm not sure I saw a single quarterback power RPO draw at all. I see off-schedule escapes. I see throws. Somebody says, Damon, did you blame Kyle Shanahan when Jimmy got hurt a few years ago against Kansas City? No, it was a scramble. He went to the sideline. It was a non-contact injury, for goodness sakes. No, that happens in the flow of football. Kyle didn't send in a play that said, hey, we're going to have Jimmy keep a naked bootleg and just run it out of bounds. The play broke down. Jimmy took off, tore his knee. That was that. That's football. That's, hey, something happened. The only thing that happened yesterday was Kyle Shanahan sent in a play that, look, in the right situation, you might run that play. It wasn't the right situation. 3 most important words in real estate: location, location, location. Feels like the same thing could be said for power RPO quarterback draws. Location, location, location. Where are we? We're in the middle of the field. We're moving the ball in any way we want, all day long. It's not all day long. It's the middle of the first quarter of week 2 against the most beatable Seattle team in 5 years. There was no reason to send that play in. There was no reason to expose your quarterback to punishment when he didn't need to take it. And it's just that simple. Great play callers call better plays than that. By the way, if it was such a great play, it would have popped. I don't even think they picked up a first down. That's it. It wasn't. Seattle was literally waiting for it. They were waiting for it.
Well, I'm loath to question play calling, but you do raise the interesting point that, how early do you, if you're trying to surprise somebody, save the surprise for when it matters, not the first quarter.
Right.
And more to the point, well, maybe not more to the point, but I also wonder if the actual plan wasn't to give it to Wilson and Lance just got it in his head to put the ball under his arm. And Shanahan's not going to say that because he'd be throwing Lance under the bus.
I just look at it this way. If that play is one of Trey's strengths, then we got to talk about how bad Trey Lance is at his strength. He's really not a very fast runner to the point where he can't get to the edge, or at least that's what everyone's saying today. I don't know if I believe that or not, but okay, let's say he can't get to the edge. Well, then you need to stop running RPOs with him playing the role of the running back. Then you got to take RPOs out of your playbook. He's the wrong guy to run them. He just is. And he also read that RPO completely wrong. Every single linebacker, the fullback, or every single linebacker and the safeties of Seattle, and the biggest key of all, the defensive end, crashed on the quarterback. You should have handed it off to who was it back there? Was it Ray McLeod at that time? There you go. Should have handed it off to Ray McLeod. 888-957-9570. If you're on hold, we're going to say hello to you after we say hello to our Hall of Famer and playmaker, Michael Irvin, who is scheduled to join us next, but he's usually running about 5 minutes late, so maybe we'll sneak in a call unless he's right there, right on time, baby, in which case we do have the longest commercial-free segment of the entire afternoon right around the corner. Damon and Ratto here on a big Monday, brought to you by Fremont Bank, full-service banking, no compromises.
Why spend hours negotiating with a car salesman to get the best price for a vehicle you want to buy? At BMW of Fairfield, we give you our very best, most competitive price right up front. By eliminating the price negotiation process, we create a comfortable environment that helps our guests enjoy an experience that's often hostile and difficult at other dealerships. There is a better way. Experience it for yourself at BMW of Fairfield. One price, one person, 1 hour.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the peace of mind that comes with Security Edge, helping to protect all your connected devices, and the most reliable 5G mobile network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with fast speeds and advanced security. Together for just $69.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Or find out how to get up to a $650 prepaid card with a qualifying bundle. Limited time offer, restrictions apply. New 50 megabits per second internet and Security Edge customers only. Requires enrollment in EcoBill and AutoPay. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most RootMetrics 5G data reliability wins in 1H 2022. Results may vary, not an endorsement.
Do you think all premium fuels are the same? Well, your engine doesn't. Shell V-Power Nitro Plus helps keep your engine running like new because it's engineered to defend against 4 main engine threats: gunk, wear, corrosion, and friction. So next time, choose Shell's most advanced fuel ever. It's fuel for thought. In engines that continuously use Shell V-Power Nitro Plus premium gasoline.
Ever since I got the new Galaxy Z Flip 4, I've been learning all these new tricks with my dog Finn. Like how to take the best selfies at the park. I just set my phone down, put it in flex mode, and capture hands-free pics from multiple angles.
Aww.
Or how to capture our training sessions for his followers. I simply wave my hand to start recording video. Good boy! Plus, the Z Flip 4 is compact and fits perfectly in my pocket.
Oh, wow. Visit Samsung.com today to get the new Galaxy Z Flip 4.
O'Reilly Auto Parts is here to keep your car on the road with our free loaner tool program. Your local store has more than 80 specialty tools available to rent for your next repair. Refundable deposit required. Ask our professional parts people about the loaner tool program today at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Are you looking for a rewarding new career? Join the United States Postal Service and apply for roles nationwide. Serve your community with pride and receive benefits including competitive pay and opportunities for advancement. Whether you are looking for full-time, part-time, or seasonal positions, we have options that may be perfect for you. The United States Postal Service is an equal opportunity employer. Apply now at USPS.com/careers.
Elise and Carl's Bakery needed a small business loan fast, but instead of going to On Deck, Carl called
Lone Falcon!
Really? Carl?
There's a better way to get a fast small business loan. Go to OnDeck.com, and if approved, get your loan as soon as the same day. Your loan is on deck. Depending on certain loan attributes, your business loan may be issued by OnDeck or Celtic Bank, a Utah Chartered Industrial Bank member FDIC. Limited eligibility for same-day funding. OnDeck does not lend in every state. All loans subject to lender approval.
Come into Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill September 23rd through September 25th for their fall clearance sale event. Take advantage of factory direct prices, one-of-a-kind opportunities, special pricing on floor models, and convenient financing. And save on new appliances from trusted brands like Miele, Bosch, Electrolux, LG, and Maytag. Visit Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill for their fall clearance sale event, September 23rd through September 25th, for the best time to save on new appliances for your home.
Score big with Xfinity Internet. It's made to do anything, so you can do anything. Supercharge your home with the game-changing speed of supersonic Wi-Fi. With 3 times more bandwidth, it covers the field and then some. And blocks billions of threats with advanced security that helps keep you protected at home and on the go. If you're keeping score, that's internet that does it all. That's unbeatable internet from Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas.
Dell Technologies semi-annual sale has arrived, and it's time to upgrade to the latest business technology. Save big on laptops and desktops with Windows 11 Pro. Plus, get amazing deals on server, storage, and cloud solutions, as well as top work accessories, including docks, monitors, and more. Dell Technologies recommends Windows 11 Pro for business. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL for special business offers during our semi-annual sale.
MVP's bonus days are back at Lowe's. Right now, get a special BOGO offer from Bosch. Buy a select Bosch 18-volt bare tool, get a battery free. Shop savings on all of our top pro items. Plus, MVPs earn up to 3 times bonus points on select products. Join today and redeem points for products designed to level up your business. Don't miss MVP's bonus days, happening now at Lowe's. Pricing and offers subject to change at any time. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Valid through 9/23.
Now back to Damon and Ratto, brought to you by BMW Fairfield on 95.7 The Game.
Somebody says, can we actually talk about the game and the whooping we put on them? What, and completely ignore the only headline that matters? But I'll give you this. 49ers did get some good news. That defense does look sharp. It really does. That defense looks like a monster. Nick Bosa had himself a day. Talanoa Hufanga had himself another day. Mooney Ward had himself a pretty good day. Got to pick off a terrible, terrible decision by Pete Carroll. The last 3 seasons, 27 teams started their year 0-2, and all 27 missed the playoffs. I told you just last week, going back to the year 2011, I can't even remember what year it went back to, but going back to whatever year it went back to, I'm sorry, I don't remember it right now. Lots has happened since we last spoke. 92% chance of missing the playoffs should you start 0-2, and I kept on saying you don't even want to know what 0-3 looks like. Well, you're not going to have to find out because the Niners are not 0-2. They're not 0-2. The Raiders are 0-2, and the Raiders in their entire franchise history have never made the playoffs after starting 0-2. And yesterday, Ray, is also the biggest blown lead in the history of the Raiders, a franchise that has made a glorious level of artwork out of blowing leads.
Yeah, they and the Chargers are the 2 teams that you least expect to carry out a wall-to-wall win.
That's already their 11th loss at Allegiant Stadium. And they're what, 1 game into year number 3.
Yeah. Oh no, they're a team that talks big about being able to score. The damning number here is they gave up 29 points to a bad Arizona team in 1 half plus 8 minutes of overtime.
That's not good.
I mean, it's more than not good. It's the notion that they haven't fixed the problem that's been the problem year after year after year after year after year.
Well, I guess that's kind of the problem that we have now with the Niners, because they tried to fix a problem that the head coach told us he had. Not us. Not us. We all thought maybe Jimmy's not the right guy to win the Super Bowl. But then the head coach definitively told everyone, I am so thoroughly convinced that I cannot win a Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo that I'm going to go about replacing him. That's what Kyle Shanahan told us in his actions. Forget his words. His actions are what you need to know. His actions said, I don't believe Jimmy is the guy. So now that Jimmy's the guy again, we're all supposed to believe Jimmy's the guy? I mean, if Kyle Shanahan's basically saying, hey, listen to me, I know more about it than you do, you told me Jimmy couldn't get it done. More than anybody else. There's no one who believed less in Jimmy Garoppolo than Kyle Shanahan in terms of decision makers about Jimmy Garoppolo.
That's the thing about this entire thing from the moment he drafted Lance, or from the moment he decided to draft Lance. It's that this has been one huge gamble after another. It's just gambling on the guy with very little resume was a gamble. Trading up to get him was a gamble. Just all the way down. Everything about this is playing against percentages for a guy who I think has a pretty good grasp of most percentages. If you think about it, he's very much a percentage guy in terms of play calling and coaching in general. You know, the way he's built the team as a defense-first team, that's playing the percentages. This is the one place where he's basically worked against long odds. And it hasn't worked out yet.
It has not worked out yet. No, it's not. Trey Lance is running at an unsustainable pace. Somebody said, hey, you want a guy who ran a ball straight up the middle yesterday? Look at the 80-yard run by Lamar Jackson. Stop comparing Trey Lance to Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is in a class of 2. There's Lamar Jackson and there's Josh Allen, and then there's everybody else. And Lamar Jackson runs so much that the Baltimore Ravens are cool with him going to another team next year, even though he's the greatest quarterback they've ever had. All due respect to Joe Flacco. But really, I mean, Lamar Jackson is so dynamic of a playmaker that the Ravens are terrified to give him a big deal going forward because he's that risky of a player. So,
well, it's also because he's asking for all guaranteed money for the perfectly good, sound reason that if Deshaun Watson's worth it, why am I not?
Exactly.
I mean, that's the thing is, you know, when Deshaun Watson got that guaranteed money, that's the thing that pissed the NFL off more than the fact that you were rewarding a guy with a sexual proclivity with masseuses.
Oh, totally. They don't care. They don't care about what happened to those women.
Wait a minute, you're going to give him all of it?
Yeah. Look, by the way, the Browns blew a game at home to the Jets yesterday and got booed off the field. The Browns were up 31-17 with 1:55 to play at home. Touchdown, recovered onside kick, touchdown. Ugh. The Jets, Jaguars, Lions, and Giants all went on the same day for the first time since December of 2011. How about that? By the way, the Bengals are 0-2. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, Joe Burrow, who got sacked 6 times yesterday. Epic comeback from the Dolphins and Cardinals. Tampa finally beat the Saints. Mike Evans, by the way, suspended 1 game. Did you see him? You could read his lips. He's saying, that's Tom Brady. Like, anyone comes at Tom Brady, I'm going to chop their head off. And that's the right way to do it. Mike Evans should serve that suspension proudly after appealing it.
Oh, yeah. Did you see Bruce Arians on the sideline basically telling him,
get back out there and kick that guy's ass?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I heard Bruce Arians might be in trouble, which is interesting because he doesn't even work in the league anymore. So how could...
he works for the team. He's a consultant.
Oh, okay. So what are they going to say? Consult less?
I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe it'll be one like that Stephen Ross suspension, which has no teeth to it.
Hey, was he there?
Not that we know. But if he's any kind of brain, he's hired somebody to make sure that he's out of sight. But I bet he was there.
Michael Irvin's going to be joining us in about 5 minutes here on 95.7 The Game. In the meantime, I told you we'd go back to a few calls. This is Dennis in San Francisco. Dennis, hello.
How you doing, guys?
Excellent.
Good. It's good talking to you guys. I have so many grievances against Shanahan, I don't know where to begin. But one of them is definitely, I think you guys hit it, Damon, you hit the nail on the head. He needs a general manager to hold him accountable. And I don't know, because he can't pick his nose in the draft. And
look, I can't say that he can't pick his nose. He's officially hit on some really studly draft picks. But in the biggest draft capital acquisition in franchise history, he might have gotten it wrong. Unfortunately, we won't know until the end of next year whether he got that right or wrong. And we probably won't even know then because, hey, it's just the guy's first year as a starter. What can you really learn then? It takes multiple years to grow an NFL quarterback. And in his first 2 years with the 49ers, Trey Lance has not grown. He has not grown enough to have his coach have any confidence in him to not have a basically 1-to-1 throw to run the ball ratio. He threw 3 times yesterday, ran 3 times. And again, somebody here, 707 on the Comcast Business text line, says, Jimmy took us to the championship game and a Super Bowl. Why do you insist he's a bad quarterback? I don't. Kyle Shanahan did. Kyle Shanahan insisted that he was a bad quarterback. Kyle Shanahan, with a Super Bowl roster, said, I need to change his quarterback to win a Super Bowl. So he did. And after Jimmy got to an NFC title game last year, there was ample opportunity to just say, hey, Jimmy's back on track and he's turning into what we hope he is and what we wanted him to be. So we're just going to have Trey Lance hold the clipboard again. Even though that's not quite Aaron Rodgers, Jimmy Garoppolo is our Aaron Rodgers in this moment, and that makes you Jordan Love. That means you got a couple of years to just wait and see and learn as much as you can. And given that you played 1 football game from college since 2019, that's not a bad thing. But Kyle, no, the ego was too far down the road with Trey Lance. And the investment was so significant that you can't take out a loan like this and not use it. I mean, once you got that money, you got to spend it.
Yeah, but it's not the investment that bothers me, because for him to get his pick of quarterbacks, he had to trade up, and he had to trade up with the other guy deciding what the price was. It may turn out that the mistake was the guy he took. I don't mind the price. If that's the price you had to get to 3,
give 5 first-rounders for the right quarterback.
Yeah, so... Yeah,
right, but you better damn well have the right one at that point.
Well, sure, but it might turn out, and I still am leaning toward this, that the only guy that might have been worth taking was Trevor Lawrence, and just because there were 5 quarterbacks in the top half of the draft doesn't necessarily mean that any of them are going to pan out. I mean, after all, Trevor Lawrence still has to overcome the fact that he plays in Jacksonville. which is still a heavy ask, no matter how good he could be.
It is a big ask. This is Grandpa Joe calling from Moss Beach. Grandpa Joe, real quick, what do you got?
Well, guys, I've been a 49er fan since the 1950s as a kid, and I could tell you stories, but I won't. I'll just say this. I've been following your comments closely, and I agree with probably 95% of them. What I think you've missed the point is that last year, Shanahan lost to Kansas City. And you could see him on the sideline drooling over the Kansas City quarterback, that kid that can run and throw and throw. And I think he had it in his mind. That's what he needed. That's what the franchise needed.
Well, but here, Patrick Mahomes doesn't just run and run and run. Patrick Mahomes runs to get out of trouble. He evades contact. He doesn't run. Patrick Mahomes is not a running quarterback. He's a quarterback that can run. If you have a running quarterback, you have the wrong quarterback in this league. And don't call Lamar Jackson just a running quarterback, because he also threw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns yesterday. And don't call Josh Allen just a running quarterback, because Josh Allen throws the ball wherever he wants to whoever he wants, no matter where they are on the field. There's no blade of grass he can't attack.
But see, I don't think he drafted Trey Lance because he was a running quarterback. I think he drafted him because he saw an arm that could, as you like to say, stretch the field.
Okay, well,
and
then
so
use
that's
it.
what I don't
Does he
think
still have that arm? He had that arm yesterday.
But apparently, I mean,
if he's got the arm,
if we're to believe what people have said who've watched practices, it's an erratic arm. And the one thing you have to say about Mahomes is he can put the ball where he wants. The thing you have to say about Josh Allen is he can put the ball into tight spots. Those are accurate arms. And maybe the issue here is that Lance is not accurate enough to be able to go deep.
A conversation that we've been looking forward to all day is about to happen as soon as I welcome everyone to your 5 o'clock hour.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco. Always live on Twitch, YouTube, and the free Odyssey app. Damn well better be free.
He's a Hall of Famer who knows more about offensive football than we can pretend to. Michael Irvin joins us here on 95.7 The Game. And oh, Michael. The situation that is busted out here in San Francisco is unbelievable. Let's just start with going through where Kyle Shanahan has lost some confidence. To me, he sent the wrong play into the huddle. Why you're asking your quarterback to run RPO when your running backs are doing everything they want in the first quarter of week 2, I don't understand it. If you got to bust that out in the fourth quarter of a tight game, yeah, okay, that's football. But it felt like an unnecessary play to come in at the time. I know this is a brutal sport. I know guys get hurt. To me, the play was unnecessary.
But so much goes into the grooming, the maturing of a young quarterback. And when I saw it, I thought the same thing, man. You ran the ball pretty well. You got to run back. But what you're also looking for are things that give him confidence. And those are areas that he probably had a little more confidence in than throwing some of the ball. I heard you guys talking also about that deep ball. Just real quick to hit that on Trey Lance and on any deep ball, any guys coming from college throwing deep balls. They throw that deep ball a little too flat sometimes. Because in college, you're so used to seeing your guy, if he's a speed guy, run by somebody and really be open. You can be open by a yard or 2 yards, so you try to throw a more accurate pass than somebody's open by a yard or 2 yards. In the NFL, that dude is hanging on you like your jersey, and we call that open. So you can't throw that ball as flat. You have to throw that ball with more air up under it, and let the receiver spot it in the air and find the ball while the DB is watching the receiver. Those are things he can learn. Those are things he will learn. And he needs game reps learning it.
Well, and I guess
for me, because injuries happen. The sad thing for me is now when they go to Trey next year without Jimmy G, now he has to walk that tightrope without a tether. Because Jimmy G was there before, giving him a little net if he falls or a little tether. And that next year is going to be a little different.
Is there anything that in your experience, could give you a sense of when a rookie quarterback gets it? Is there sort of a general line of progression about, it should take 6 weeks, it should take 10 weeks, it should take a full year? Because he's only played 3 games after only playing a full year of college. So how far out are we looking at if this is a normal progression for a quarterback?
I would love to say one season gets you all the way from kindergarten through graduation to 12th grade, but that's never really the case. It's so much to learn at this position. It's so much to learn at this position. And those games for Trey was absolutely vital. The games he played, but these games we have left. Because no matter how much someone talks to you about, no matter how much somebody tries to explain it to you, the only way to really get it is to see it. You can see some things in film, you'll see some things in practice, but game time is really when it really impresses upon you, and losing that game time is critical. There is no, it depends on so many variables: his physical talent, his mental makeup, the way he learns, how he handles setbacks. Some people eat setbacks. Some people get more hungry when they have setbacks, and then some people don't handle it so well. All of these things are part of the maturing process, and I hope you guys were not thinking that you were going to see Trey Lance go from kindergarten to 12th grade in 1 year. He has a lot of growing to do, and it'll be beyond just that 1 year of growth.
Well, and that's the devastating thing, Michael, is that year 1 of him being a full-time starter is now pushed back to year 3 of his rookie contract. And we all know that to have a rookie quarterback on a rookie quarterback deal allows you to build a Super Bowl contender around him and spend the money around him. And the timeline for Trey Lance now is just so altered from the original, version. And the crazy thing is that Kyle Shanahan, I think, loses some credibility here because even with success, he can't really claim it because there's no one in the world who wanted to get off Jimmy Garoppolo more than Kyle Shanahan. Again, he says all the right things, but his actions were drafting Trey Lance to begin with, then letting Jimmy onto the open market and saying we're trying to trade him, then not being able to trade him, and then say, all right, Jimmy, Team Garoppolo, Don Yee, you try to trade him. If all you can get us is a bucket of balls, we'll take that at this point. They didn't want this guy on the roster, and then they kind of turned around and, hands up, well, he's still here, and we don't believe in Nate Sudfeld, so we're just going to keep him around because he's going to restructure. It's hard for Kyle Shanahan to look at any of this and claim, this was my plan. This wasn't his plan. It's the opposite of his plan now.
Yeah, but Damon, I swear, and I'm the right person to be talking to in this situation. I surely wish our coach had a dumb plan like y'all. I wish our coach had a dumb plan. If you're calling Kyle Shanahan plan dumb, whatever it is, I wish we had a dumb plan. But we had somebody in back of our starter that I felt real good about. I'm glad Cooper Rush got a win, but this thing happened to have played out perfectly. The plan was to get Trey right. But now something unforeseen has happened, and thank God you got Jimmy Garoppolo. Look at it this way, too. The fact that nobody came to get Jimmy Garoppolo, does that not solidify Kyle Shanahan's desire to want to come off with Jimmy Garoppolo?
Maybe. I don't know where the shoulder injury really comes into play there, but I hear you.
Hey, wait. D. Dak Prescott had a broken leg and got $40 million a year. $40 million. You see what I mean? Injured quarterbacks can still get paid if you know that that injury is going to heal. They knew Garoppolo's injury was going to heal, and he still did not get those opportunities. There are 100 quarterbacks. There are a lot of quarterbacks could have been on the market with an injury, and people would have gone at him. Remember Drew Brees? He had an injury before the Saints signed him. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but he didn't come with a $25 million price tag, and that's what Jimmy was looking at that point. You know, if you wanted Garoppolo, you were absorbing that contract, and I think that's what scared people away.
Right. No doubt. But how? How? It's almost like the Amari Cooper thing. The $20 million for Amari is nothing. They got 30 now. That's the market. 25 for Jimmy is nothing. They get 50 now. That's the market. You see what I'm saying? That's where I start going. And the market is going north. And next year is going back north again. So I thought I didn't think that was a bad, as worse of a decision as we think. I know you would rather have that 25 to throw back into the kid to put more talent around Trey Lance. But the way this thing has worked out, I mean, unfortunately for Trey and unfortunately for his development and the process he has to go through. But to have Jimmy G right there, you didn't feel the gulf that we felt in Dallas when we saw that go down. That was a gulf. And you don't want to feel that. So I know it didn't plan out probably like he expected to plan out, but the way it happened saved your life, at least this football life for this season.
As for the rest of the game, did you see anything that makes you rethink anything about the 49ers and how they will either succeed or fail this year? Irrespective of the quarterback, do they look like the team that were awful for the first half of last year and then good later? Or do they look more like the team of 3 years ago that essentially ran the table?
That's such a great question. And I'm telling you what's so hard right now to determine is who's what in week 2. It's almost like these are, and that's why it's so hard to even call these games or predict who's winning these games, because I don't know who's in shape and who's not. You know what I mean? I'm watching guys get winded and during the game. It's the second game of the season. Before when you were really playing those preseason games, by this time you had a clear understanding of who is what and how well they'll do it. But right now, I can say, Fran, there are teams in this league right now still playing with guys that are not all the way in shape, and it's affecting the game. And I see it. I see these guys huffing and puffing, cramping up all that. That's preseason stuff that you get out of the way and get your body ready. But we're still seeing it now. So listen, I believe San Francisco. I said San Francisco is probably right now, as you look through the NFC. You have the champs, the Rams, and then you got Tampa, whose defense is playing very good right now. But I don't see anybody else that's just towering over San Francisco right now.
Michael Irvin here on 95.7 The Game. I want to play a soundbite from Kyle Shanahan from yesterday's press conference for you and then ask you a question about it.
Anytime a guy gets hurt, I wish I didn't call that. But no, that's something we were going to do and something we would continue to do. That's a football play we believe in and something that gives him a chance to be real successful in this league.
And he basically goes on to say, a lot of teams play like that. A lot of teams run that play, and it's very common. I'd like to ask you, Michael, how do you feel about calling quarterback power run plays up the middle when a running back is absolutely getting the job done? I mean, the 49ers were moving the ball wherever they wanted when he decided, I'm going to run Trey Lance, hey, diddle, diddle, right up the middle. Do you think Kyle Shanahan deserves any blame in this injury?
Well, like he said, when you look back, you hate to see it happen. You say, man, I shouldn't have done that. I wish I wouldn't have done that. I wish we could have done something different. But he said also what I talked about earlier, that he was trying to get him some success and get that feeling, a feeling of success, because it makes you yearn and want more success, and it gives you a confidence. You saw, like the young quarterback that Miami got yesterday, Tua. The more success he had, the more confidence he had, the more he's willing. I understand what he was trying to do. I'm like you. I'd rather him do those plays on the outside, and I'd rather him tell a young Trey Lance, get your butt down. This is not college. This is not high school. You're not the best athlete on the field. And everywhere you've ever played, you've been by far the best athlete on the field. Everybody's the best athlete on the field here. I would have liked that. But man, I just trust how Kyle runs that situation from the quarterback situation. I I appreciate it when I look at it from the long scope.
One more sound from Kyle Shanahan.
Just because, you guys watch other teams in this league, and Buffalo does it all the time. Their quarterback's pretty normal play, part of football, and it's unfortunate that he hurt his ankle on it, but it's very normal ram play. You guys should watch some other people.
So, Michael, what is the difference between Josh Allen? What is the difference in Lamar Jackson in the way that he goes about running? Or are these two guys such individual outliers? Trying to compare what you might do with your quarterback to how they play with their quarterbacks is totally fool's gold.
But everybody wants one of these guys. One of these guys that can do it all now. You know what I mean? And Trey has that thing. He has that ability to run. He has, and you got to develop him in the passing game. I was watching that Tennessee game before we talked. Josh Allen took that ball, went right up the middle of the street, right up the middle of the field, jumped over a guy, and got a first down on a crucial third down on a drive that they were going to make a score. I was like, man, I'd rather you do that stuff for a quarter with game on the line, and we got trying to win the division and get a home field advantage. I want you to stay away from that stuff early on. But sometimes it's such a part of these guys, and they're such competitors, and they'll get in the game. They don't, and you just start going. They start going. Guys start trying to run people over. I'm like, stop doing that. Stop doing that. Dak Prescott did it last year. I said, man, do that again. I'm gonna come through the TV and whoop your butt myself. Don't you do that. You know what I mean? But they're guys. They got egos, and they're trying to show their guys that they're playing all hard and doing everything for them. Listen, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are two unique talents, man. Unique talents. If you can get that kind of talent, it is an ultimate weapon. A guy that can run and hurt you, and then throw the ball, hurt you. Lamar Jackson threw a 75-yard touchdown and ran for a 75-yard touchdown. It's never been done in the NFL. That's amazing if you can get a talent like that. So I understand why they're working on Trey, because they want that ultimate weapon at quarterback.
How do you feel about the report that there were voices in the 49ers locker room who believe they're a better team with Jimmy right now than they were with Trey?
Yeah, I believe that. There's no doubt. We should understand that. Jimmy's had a tutelage up under the greatest quarterback of all time, and then he had all of these years of experience. Trey only had a tutelage under Jimmy, and he didn't have all of these years of experience. So right now, I can believe that. But right now isn't the only thing that San Francisco, that Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch is trying to secure. They're trying to secure that great candy that I grew up loving. The now and the later. The now and later. The now and later, and that's exactly what Trey Lance gives.
Let me break out away from the 49ers for a minute. The number of teams that blew big leads yesterday, is that just sort of an accident, or do you see a common thread that suggests that maybe teams aren't either as good at holding big leads, or that maybe they're not playing enough and they're prone to blowing big leads? Is this an accident, or is this something that we can expect to see some more?
Them jokers out of shape. They jump out there, they get good, and all of a sudden, they get tired. Hey, Tyreek Hill, there was nobody 7 yards around Tyreek Hill. When you get Jimmy Johnson, the thing he said, every day. I still hear it in my sleep. I still hear it when I get up in the morning to brush my teeth. I still hear it when my woman puts some food on the table and I grab the fork to put the food in my mouth. All I hear is fatigue will make a coward of us. Fatigue will make a coward, but we'll be the best shaped team. We're going to be in the best condition. Fatigue will make a coward of us. You start making mistakes. You start focusing on how tired you are instead of focusing on your responsibility. Fatigue. These early comebacks, that's fatigue you're seeing on a football field, because these jokers have walked into the season instead of running into the season in good shape. That's why you're seeing so many of those comebacks. You see mistakes, you see fatigue. As Jimmy said, it makes a coward of us all.
Michael, 0-2 isn't a death sentence, but it's a very good way to begin your walk to the electric chair. There's some pretty good 0-2 teams out there. The Raiders are now 0-2. The Bengals, the defending AFC champions, are 0-2. Do you see an 0-2 team that you still like to be a playoff team?
And, man, we went over this today on the show, and I was like, wow, this is scary. Because, it's all about expectations when you come to your realization. What expectations did you have before you came to this realization of being 0-2? Cincinnati just got out of it, just got to the Super Bowl. They were the Super Bowl. They were expecting to get back there. So I can imagine the drop that they must have. And I was thinking about this, you can still get back. We went to a Super Bowl one year and then started 0-2 in 93 after winning the Super Bowl in 92, and we got back to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl. But we had a dude that was coming back that missed those first two games. I don't know, y'all might have heard of him. He's only the all-time leading rusher named Emmitt Smith. See, Cincy, you don't have a dude coming back. So now you're sitting in there wrecking your brain like, how the hell are we 0-2 right now? You know what I mean? And this is not what we expected to be right now. So that blows my mind. The Raiders, that blows my mind that the Raiders are going through that. When you got three number ones, everybody's fighting for one number one. You got a number one out wide receiver, a number one slot receiver, and a number one tight end, yet you're 0-2. So, yeah, there's some surprises there, big boy.
Are there any 2-0 teams that, in your mind, shouldn't be or won't last very much longer?
Boy, that's Buffalo. The only team I would say, if you start talking about teams like a team like a Miami team, some jumping out here, say, oh man, is this real or is it not real? Boy, they're absolutely real. It's the style that fits the talent that's on the football field. So we were asking today, is Miami real enough to give Buffalo a chase and a challenge? And I'm saying absolutely. Now, I was watching that Buffalo defense, and they look pretty good. The defense looks pretty good. But it's so explosive. Miami's so explosive. And I think that'll be the biggest surprise when you're seeing what Mike McDaniel is doing with the Dolphins right now.
Pretty impressive debut for him, no doubt. A Titans-Bills game is underway. We got two Monday Nighters tonight, and I'll tell you the winner of the second one, either Vikings or Eagles, is going to be sitting at 2-0 and probably pretty well positioned. Michael, right. I want to wrap up with this because Mike Evans, according to the NFL, is going to be suspended for the next game for going out and really getting into a scrap with Marcus Lattimore, but he did it in the name of defending Tom Brady, which means he did it right. I mean, there's no amount of you even talk to Tom funny and we're coming for your throat that is ever going to be wrong on a football field.
Right. And I don't like the NFL suspending them for games. I mean, okay, you don't want to see fights on the field, but, tempers flare. I know Mike came back in the thrall and all of that stuff, man, but I didn't really see we ain't seeing any helmets swinging, any crazy stuff. It's just guys pushing guys with all that equipment on. Nobody's going to hurt anybody. It's just blowing off steam. So I hate it. And for Tampa, that's the worst thing in the world. Tampa, hopefully Julio's back because he missed the knee. He didn't play without the knee, and Godwin certainly is not going to be back because that hamstring. I saw Scotty Miller started making some plays. It's just a bad thing for Tampa right now because Mike Evans is such a beast. But I love watching those two. Go at it. And each time they go at it, they get in a fight. Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore. It's just one of those great battles, man. And nobody wants to back down. And I like that. I wish the NFL would have recognized that and said, hey, we see, and just kind of let it go. And let's play some football.
Yeah, look, I mean, I like players with squabbles. It's good for the league. It's good for business. Earlier, and we'll let you go after this, Michael, and thanks as always. It's great to hear from you. You're calming people down, telling everyone how football team games really work. We appreciate that. Ray asked you earlier how long you needed to get a feel for whether or not a quarterback or really any NFL player is right for the part. I have the same question, but I want to ask about a head coach because Nathaniel Hackett, through 2 games in Denver, has got an awful lot scored against him right now as far as getting in plays and calling timeouts and knowing how to manage a football game.
A lot to go and a lot to learn from that standpoint, and we're seeing some issues already. But now, even the game, the technical game part, that's one thing. He's also learning what it is to have that quarterback too. Now he's watched many come and go without that quarterback. It's his first time as a head coach. His first time in those positions to oversee it all like that, and I knew Paul Hackett, he's my office coordinator, to oversee it all like that. So yeah, there's going to be some growing problems there, some growing pains there. But I think what he knows is as long as I just stay tight with this guy Russell Wilson right here, and we get some wins, I'm going to be okay, and I'll have time to learn those things. As long as I don't get crossways with the top quarterback, and the quarterback's going to be there because they just gave him that deal, and that means Nathaniel Hackett will get the time to iron that stuff out because he's so tight with Russell Wilson. And Russell's not going to let you fire him.
The NFL is officially the best thing on television. It never disappoints. It
never disappoints. It really doesn't. It's the best thing in the world, man. It is the greatest reality show we get to watch every week and every day, and something comes up every week, every day that we can try to grab, and we can see a struggle, or we can see some glory that we can try to grab and add to our own life. We see somebody do something great, come from nowhere, come out of nowhere, and do something great, and you get inspired. You say, well, he did it, I can do it. Or you can see somebody that goes through something horrific but comes through it. And you say, wow, and he did it, I can do it. That's what makes this so great, dude. That's what makes it so great. That's why we can't stop watching this stuff. It's the greatest thing in the world.
It sure is. Michael, thank you so very, very much. And who would have ever thought the Niners are back to Gucci?
Y'all look good. I wish we were Gucci. Like y'all were good, like y'all are Gucci at our spot, but with the keep fight. You just keep fighting. That's all we can do. Keep fighting. The
man, the myth, the legend, the Hall of Famer, Michael Irvin. You're a treasure. Thank you very much.
All right, guys.
Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang.
Back to Gucci. It's official. Jimmy Garoppolo. Meet the new boss. Same as the old boss. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Think of the just words that you and I expelled on this issue. All the thought, all of the conversation we had about one or the other, and now you're back to just one, not the other. It's amazing.
Well, I remember, and I'm not doing this to be mean-spirited, although I do like
to be mean-spirited.
When you said Trey Lance was inevitable, and I understand why you said it in the context in which you said it, but I thought about that today because I said, you know what? Nothing is inevitable in this stupid league. Everything is temporary. Every player is day-to-day. Every coach is day-to-day. Every game is minute-to-minute. There's nothing permanent about this. And when you want to sit and set yourself in cement and say, this is right, you're wrong in 15 minutes. That's why the books make money and you don't.
Yeah, it's like Midwestern weather. If you don't like it, just wait 15 minutes. It'll change. There's no doubt. And I told you this, though. Maybe I got this one right. That Jimmy cast the right way, in the right light, looks much different. And when Jimmy was cast in the role of savior, when he started 5-0, things looked great. Maybe Jimmy cast once again in the role of savior. We'll sprinkle a little bit of magic over this when it's all said and done. And what do you know? The 49ers went 16-1, and the parade went up Market Street. I mean, who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? Jimmy Garoppolo.
I mean, it's never about you. Yeah, I'm not a big me guy. It's about winning football games. I'm a big believer in that. And people can say whatever they want, talk stats, whatever. But when you win football games, that's what you're here to do. And that's all I'm trying to do.
Now, it technically wasn't a start. So Jimmy Garoppolo is still 31-14 as this team's starting quarterback. And when Jimmy doesn't start, they are 8-29 without him. And that includes last week's loss in Chicago. Richard Sherman, he knows a little bit about this league. He knows a little bit about the 49ers, having played for them. And here's what he said on his podcast on the Volume Network about Jimmy Garoppolo and fans still having him around.
I told the fans, y'all better be careful what you wish for. Like, y'all better be thankful that Jimmy G is still a Niner because anything can happen. And I told him it would give Kyle Shanahan more liberty, and he'd feel liberated to run Trey Lance a little bit more. It is unfortunate what happened. That's stuff that nobody could predict. People are like, he ran him too much. He had only run 3 times in the game. So, like, chill that out. That's part of his offense. That's part of what they got him for. They were so mad and so split. You know, it was either we love Jimmy or we love Trey. And it was like, they're on the same team. Yeah. They're on the same team going in the same direction. The only people that ain't going in the same direction is y'all. Yeah. And right now, this can be a galvanizing moment for Niners fans to say, hey, let's come together. Let's pray for Trey Lance and his health, and then support the guy under center right now. And that should always be the case.
He's dreaming.
He is. And, you know, your theory of the backup quarterback always being the most popular guy in town. Ray, who's the most popular guy in town now?
Oh, Brock Purdy. They can't wait to see him until the moment they see him. And then they'll go, my God, I wish we had Jimmy back. Or Lance back. Or
let's rock around the Brock.
Yeah. Well, let's not lose all perspective. But then we'll find out who their third quarterback's going to be, because I don't think they're going to stand with Kyle Juszczyk. It's just a projection I have. Then they'll fall in love with him, but it's never the guy who has the job. Ever.
By the way, Kyle Juszczyk giving some love to Garoppolo.
I thought Jimmy looked great, and it felt like Niners football, man. We've been doing this thing for 5 years, you know, and Jimmy's been around for a long time. And, I mean, props to him for just being such a professional and being ready to go. I know every backup quarterback talks about you got to prepare like a starter, but, I mean, Jimmy's he's been practicing for like 2 weeks. You know, we've changed a few things, but he came in there and he ran everything like a well-oiled machine, man. And it's not simple. We do a lot in this offense. Even when he's just handing the ball off 45 times, we do a lot as far as motions and audibles and all that sort of thing, and there were 0 hiccups from him. So that was extremely impressive.
No, and it's also to be expected. I mean, it truly is. Going back to what Richard Sherman had to say about, you know, all these fans complaining that he's running too much. He only run the ball 3 times in that game. No one's talking about that game in the vacuum of just that game of him running too much. But I can tell you, with the 3 carries that he had midway through the first quarter, he was on his way to yet another 12, 13, 14 carry football game if you just stretch it out and project what it would have looked like. And I cannot stress this enough. We are not second guessing. We first guessed all this. Maybe not we, I first guessed this. Saying you're running this guy too much, you are putting him in harm's way in a developmental stage of his career. You should not do that because the price you pay for getting this guy hurt sets you back not only in the season that you're playing in, but in the future as well, which now gets pushed down the road. Designed runs for a quarterback in his first full season. Designed runs. Again, Kyle Shanahan wants to talk about, you know, watch other teams.
Just because, I mean, you guys watch other teams in this league, and Buffalo does it all the time. Their quarterback's pretty normal play, part of football, and it's unfortunate that he hurt his ankle on it, but it's very normal ran play. You guys should watch some other people.
By the way, how many rushes, if you could look this up for me, Lucas, does Josh Allen have this year so far? But I can tell you this, in his first year, in Josh Allen's first year, he had a design run called for him 71 times. Jalen Hurts, in his first year, 97 times. They were still wondering if he could throw the ball. And Jalen Hurts, by the way, is a running quarterback. He's one of the fastest guys out there. Kyler Murray, 82 times. He had a scramble yesterday that goes down in the record books as the greatest moment any scrambling quarterback has ever had since Fran Tarkenton. What he did for that 2-point conversion against the Raiders was remarkable. What'd you say, Ray? He ran 84 yards just in the path of keeping that 2-point. He held the ball for like 24 seconds, which in NFL time is 3 hours.
No, I think the measure here of Lance running the ball is the fact that they don't trust him to throw it yet.
Well, and look, what I just told you about Murray 82 times, Jalen Hurts 97 times, Josh Allen in his first year 71 times. Trey Lance was on pace for 153 rushing attempts. So yes, Kyle, I do watch football. And I'm going to tell you right now that there are other teams that do have quarterbacks who run very efficiently. You know, somebody pointed out, well, what about the Lamar Jackson scramble? Lamar Jackson had more green grass to run through straight up the middle of the field than you can imagine. Now, his talent got him there, but Trey Lance was on pace for 18 more rushes than Michael Vick in his rookie year, than Lamar Jackson in his rookie year. We don't even know what Trey Lance is, but we know he ain't that. We know he's not. And Kyle Shanahan is using him as if he is Barry Sanders. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. A lot of smart people can try to explain it to me, and I'm going to tell you that in a world of risk-reward, calling plays like that in the first quarter of week 2, when your running backs are getting everything you want and a little bit more, and you got the most beatable opponent you're going to see this month in front of you, what are you doing? What are you doing? And when are you doing it? Now's not the time. Life is timing. That was poor timing. A couple more calls, and we'll get a little positivity in here.
You know my attitude toward calls.
I know, you detest them. So let's take a couple. This is E in San Jose. What's going on, E?
Hey, guys. How you doing? I wanted to talk to you about how you guys are kind of passing judgment before you've even given Trey Lance and the play calling really a chance, because he played in a monsoon. He basically played in the Philippines in the first game, and you can't really throw too much in that. So
well, look, no one's really passing judgment on this show. We've all said, and I'm not hanging up on you here, E. You're going to come on back in just a second. But we've all said we have no idea what Trey Lance is going to be, and the shame of this all, the crime of it all, is that we won't know what Trey Lance is going to be by the time we get to week 1 of next year.
So why are we eviscerating play calling before he even got a chance to get through his second game? He played 10 minutes, and you're saying that he was running too much, and if you extrapolate it out, he was going to run 12.
Well, that's not on him. That's the coach. The coach is sending in the wrong plays into the huddle, is the point I'm making.
Running at the beginning of the game to tighten up the box. And then at the end of towards the end of the game, when you got 9 guys in the box, you pull that ball out from the running back and you throw it instead of running it. Could that have been a situation that they were trying to get to but couldn't, because the first game was in a monsoon and the second game he got his ankle blown out? But
they were running all that they wanted to. Lance, and look, the 49ers finished their opening drive with the field goal after an 11-play, 73-yard drive, and they ran for 43 rushing yards in that opening drive off the legs of Wilson, Davis, Price, and a little bit of Lance, who had 2 quarterback runs in the opening drive. Like, I don't know why you keep on knocking on that door when everything else is working. You want to run the ball? Ask a running back to run the ball. And by the way, it was nice to see Ty Davis-Price run the ball, and we won't probably for another 4 to 6 weeks because he's got a high ankle sprain now. That's part of the news. I can also let me give you a little good news here, E. Dre Greenlaw had a very good day on Sunday. He led the 49ers with 8 tackles, and then he was able to chase down a new contract. Ian Rappaport said that the 2019 fifth-round pick's new deal is worth close to $19 million, with over $10 million in guarantees over the next 2 years. So congratulations to Dre Greenlaw and all the Greenlaws around him. He's worth it. He's a very good player when he's not screwing up on third down in Chicago.
He didn't screw up at all yesterday because they only committed 1 penalty.
It was a much better improved day for the defense, and that's the other thing when I said I wanted to paint a little positivity here. So if the Niners are going to do something incredible this year, it's going to be because the defense brings them there. And this defense is going to have to be a monster. And yesterday, they had a great day against a bad football team. The 49ers held the Seahawks to 216 total net yards of offense. That's Seattle's second fewest allowed all time against the 49ers. The 49ers defense held Seattle to 36 rushing yards. Seattle's 36 rushing yards, the second fewest all time against the 49ers. Nick Bosa individually, 4 tackles, 2 sacks. He now has 3 on the year. He has 2 or more sacks now in a game 8 different times here in his career. Mooney Ward found himself with an interception for the first time as a member of the 49ers. 5th of his career. Tayshaun Gibson also picked off his first pass as a member of the 49ers. You also saw Fred Ward get his hands on the pass. Talanoa Hufanga was everywhere 2 weeks in a row. That was good. So we're glad that we saw that too. By the way, Nick Bosa on Trey Lance.
Yeah, I talked to him a little bit. It's the worst part of the game, obviously, and it happens instantly, and there's no going back. So once it happens, obviously you feel like your life is over for a certain amount of time. But I think the fact that he's getting surgery, I don't want to say anything, but if he gets surgery, whenever that is, then that kind of starts your road back. It's not going to be easy, but he will be back and he'll be fine. It's just really tough right now.
By the way, I can tell you that surgery did happen this morning, and this afternoon, Trey Lance tweeted out, "I truly appreciate all the messages and prayers. Surgery was a success, and I'm ready to attack this rehab process. We will never understand why, but I trust it's all part of his plan. I will be back better than ever. This chapter is going to make my story even greater." Well, I certainly hope so, because the beginning of this story has been pretty much pushing the pause button now for the first 2 years of his career. We will see Trey Lance again in year 3 of his career. If you're happy and you know it in San Diego, you're going to want to go on down for the endless sunshine, the coastline, and outdoor adventures. Feel good vibes. Go get some. Plan a trip to San Diego today at sandiego.org.
Gorgeous gaming, stunning streams, unbelievable bandwidth. It's another Lifestyles of Gagillionaires. Meet the AT&T Fiber customers winning at life with hyper-gig speeds. Meet Gagillionaire Terry. While his love of streaming horror movies has him constantly on the edge of his seat, his internet bill won't give him a scare.
Oh, don't go in there. I'm telling you.
Because since Terry upgraded to AT&T Fiber with hyper-gig speeds, he doesn't worry about data caps or equipment fees.
Come on, man. The door's open for a reason.
And best yet, he also doesn't stress about a price increase at 12 months, because with the amazing Gagillionaire lifestyle comes an exquisite sense of tranquility. Most of the time. Live like a Gagillionaire. Get straightforward pricing with AT&T Fiber. Internet that upgrades everything. No data caps, no equipment fees, and no price increase at 12 months.
Limited availability in select areas. Visit att.com/hypergig for details.
Do you think all premium fuels are the same? Well, your engine doesn't. Shell V-Power Nitro Plus helps keep your engine running like new, because it's engineered to defend against 4 main engine threats: gunk, wear, corrosion, and friction. So next time, choose Shell's most advanced fuel ever. It's fuel for thought. In engines that continuously use Shell V-Power Nitro Plus premium gasoline.
Are you looking for a rewarding new career? Join the United States Postal Service and apply for roles nationwide. Serve your community with pride and receive benefits including competitive pay and opportunities for advancement. Whether you are looking for full-time, part-time, or seasonal positions, we have options that may be perfect for you. The United States Postal Service is an equal opportunity employer. Apply now at USPS.com/careers.
The gamer, the call maker, the experience chaser. What if you could be everything all at once? Galaxy Z Fold 4 is powered by the Snapdragon processor for world-class performance and lightning-fast speed to turbocharge your multitasking. How about an expansive edge-to-edge screen for immersive gaming, hands-free video calls with flex mode, and multi-window view to use up to 3 apps at the same time? With Galaxy Z Fold 4, do more with ease and make multitasking a breeze. Available now at Samsung.com.
The following is an attorney advertisement. If you get sidelined by a workplace injury, the workers' compensation attorneys at Boxer & Gerson can help get you back in the game. Our team of skilled attorneys will fight by your side for the treatment and compensation you deserve. We care about justice for injured workers. That's what makes us Northern California's premier workers' comp law firm. Call Boxer & Gerson at 510-345-2341 or visit boxerlaw.com for a free consultation. Boxer & Gerson, your life is worth the fight.
Are you ready for your palm reading, my dear?
Yeah, let's do this.
I sense that you crave something.
More reliable.
Right. You know you deserve better and want out of a relationship.
Yes, with my big name wireless carrier.
You're who now?
My big name wireless carrier. That's why I switched to Xfinity Mobile. Now I get unlimited with 5G for $30 per month on the most reliable 5G network.
Let's talk about your aura. It's so...
And get this. They can even save you hundreds a year on your wireless bill over T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon.
Wow, that's actually really impressive.
Yep, but you already knew that, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I definitely saw this coming.
Start seeing savings today. Switch to the fastest mobile service, Xfinity Mobile. Now with the best price on 2 lines of unlimited, just $30 a line per month. Switch today. Xfinity Internet required. Price comparison for 2 unlimited lines under available 5G pricing plans of top 3 carriers. Taxes and fees extra. Reduced speeds up to 20 gigabytes of usage per line. Most reliable based on root metrics. US report. Comcast analysis of mobile Wi-Fi and cellular data from Ookla Speed Test Intelligence Q2 2022.
Straight Talk Wireless knows there are plenty of reasons you might need a new phone. But switching to a better wireless provider doesn't have to be one of them. Keep your own phone and save when you switch to any Straight Talk Wireless plan, like our $45 Silver Unlimited plan with unlimited high-speed data and 5 gigs of hotspot, plus nationwide 5G on America's best networks. Keep your own phone. Switch to a better wireless plan. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. Requires a compatible unlocked phone and BYOP kit. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See latest terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
It's not easy being the one everyone counts on to keep the facility running, no matter the weather or supply chain hiccup. But we get you, Raymond in Buffalo, and Maria in Miami, Jules in Minneapolis, and Stan in Central Indiana, taking control of everything that's under your control. At Grainger, we're here for you with experienced branch staff at over 250 locations so you get the product you're looking for. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I got Park Hill and West Valley covered on Tuesday.
At Marita's Pool Service, the current staffing plan doesn't hold water.
3 more neighborhood pools on the same day.
She needs more pool technicians to dive into work head first.
That's awesome, but now we're shorthanded.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
What's your retirement look like? With Fidelity Income Planning, a dedicated advisor can help you create a flexible income strategy to grow and protect your wealth so you can stop worrying about the future and enjoy whatever comes next. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services member NYSE SIPC.
Here's what happened today on The Game.
Presented by the County of Santa Clara.
The morning roast from 6 to 9.
The franchise quarterback that you moved up to go get, you didn't protect him. Like, Kyle Shanahan, he completely lost me yesterday.
Willard and Dibbs from 9 to noon.
My point today is not to absolve Kyle Shanahan. It's to absolve him of the idea that, you injured your QB.
Steiny and Guru from noon to 3.
You want to save him from yourself. Kyle never did that to Trey Lance. He treated him like a running back, a fullback, and he put him in harm's way.
And Damon and Ratto from 3 to 6.
Somebody says here on the Comcast Business text line, Damon, does Kyle get any credit for at least having the foresight to keep Jimmy on the roster?
No!
The best of the game, presented by the County of Santa Clara. Book a COVID-19 booster shot now at sccfreevax.org or call 211. Now back to Damon and Ratto, brought to you by BMW Fairfield on 95.7 The Game.
So Michael Irvin played in the NFL, and our conversation with him made this hour fantastic. If you'd like a conversation with a couple of other guys who officially played in this league, that's coming up next. It's the Football Hour with Sean Salisbury and our good friend Lorenzo Neal next here on 95.7 The Game from 6 to 7 o'clock. We have talked about this, and I know, Ray, we will continue talking about this all week long. We have basically taken our attention off the 49ers to touch on one or two other NFL games and outcomes, but there's a few other things that happen that we officially need to get to as we wrap up this Monday show. Real quick, though, last call of our day about the 49ers and the situation they find themselves in. Dre in Lemoore. What's going on, Dre?
Just enjoying your show. I was on a long road trip and did a good hour and a half listening to you guys.
Thank you.
Hey, I got 2 points to make. First, I don't know what's wrong with some 49er fans. I know they're Jimmy G fans, but when Trey Lance got hurt, I was reading a bunch, yay, Jimmy's in, not too bad for Trey. Hey, I'm a fan of both. I'm a Niner fan. I mean, it's disgusting that you're happy when your quarterback goes down. I don't want to be associated with those guys.
Yeah, I don't like anyone who celebrates injury, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's not right. Josh Allen, a couple years ago when we played Buffalo, I remember his main weapon was bootlegging to the right or running to the right and passing to the right. He's right-handed. I didn't see Shanahan call that for Trey Lance once the last 2 weeks. Instead of power running up the middle, or a pistol, hey, bootleg to the right, look, and if it's not there, then run. I mean...
Yeah, get him out on the edges and let him physically be matching wits with corners, not middle linebackers. Thank you for the call, Dre. It's a frustrating result, but in the weirdest way possible. And again, this goes back to Kyle's ability to evaluate this position and what's really best for his team. An argument can be made that the 49ers are better positioned to be a playoff team of consequence today, than they were on Saturday before this injury happened. And only time will tell.
Yeah, I mean, everything's a huge maybe, and I think the biggest frustration that fans have is that there's still no finality on this. Well, there wasn't going to be any finality anyway. In fact, it's more final now than it was before, in that Jimmy Garoppolo is your quarterback now. There's no, when is he going to come in? How bad does Lance have to be to lose his job? And it turned out didn't have to be bad at all. He got hurt, which is the NFL in a nutshell.
It really is.
Every plan is an ACL away.
I really thought that the ankle that we'd be talking about today in terms of that was bad was the one that Haener took in that USC game. The quarterback, Julie Haener's son, Fresno State's quarterback, had them in that game, and then he goes down on a lost fumble sack, and au revoir, Fresno State. Cal loses to Notre Dame. There will never be a day that is more set up to beat the Irish, and Cal blew it. They let a backup quarterback rally for a 10-point fourth quarter when he spent the entire day demonstrating the forward pass was hard.
Well, did you honestly think Cal was going to be within a touchdown at any point?
I did. I thought that they had a chance to win that game because Notre Dame was that bad, and they were on a backup quarterback.
I'm not a Notre Dame guy. I don't think it's a very good team. I mean, it's interesting that Brian Kelly left when he left, but I didn't think Cal could be within 3 scores of them.
I know that you're wondering, does Indiana have more wins, your Indiana University Hoosiers, Damon, than the Fighting Irish, Ball State, Purdue, and the Indianapolis Colts combined? Well, thanks for asking. The answer is yes. Yes, they do. There's my Super Bowl. That's my Rose Bowl. That's my national title game right there. Statewide bragging rights, Ray. I'm going to enjoy it.
Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you very much. The San Francisco Giants, meanwhile, are laying down like a team that is all done playing for Gabe Kapler. They got swept by the Dodgers over the weekend, and the Dodgers finished 15-4 against the Giants, who won the first 3 games in this series this year. Lost 3 of their first 5 games, I guess, against San Francisco this year. This is the Dodgers' best record against the Giants since 1899. Ray, is that good?
Well, I remember that team. No, it's I mean, the Dodgers are ridiculous good.
They really are.
They have a chance in the last couple of weeks to have a plus 400 run differential. mean, it's a long shot, but that's a number you see in 1899.
It's got to be a record, a modern day record.
It's right up there. I mean, it's I might be overstating it a little bit because I don't remember off the top of my head what their current run differential is. But
speaking,
they're going to win 110.
Yeah, they're amazing. They're absolutely amazing, and they haven't even all peaked together at the same time yet. The Dodgers haven't even caught fire yet, and they're on pace for 110 wins. Speaking of all-time records, Albert Pujols hit 698 over the weekend. He's 2 away from the 700 club. He's got 14 games left in his season in which to do it. Good luck, Albert Pujols. Aaron Judge hit a pair of home runs yesterday. He's now sitting at 59, having a truly remarkable year. He's 2 homers away from the American League single-season home run record that belongs to Roger Maris. So we have some things to still keep an eye on in the sport of baseball. But
there's a lot to keep an eye on.
The NFL, she overwhelms us.
Well, in some places, I mean, I suspect in Indianapolis they're not too keen on it right now, but so it goes.
So it goes. Thank you very much to Michael Irvin for joining us today. I can tell you that the football hour is coming up next. Appreciate you tuning in today. Whether you loved it, whether you hated it, it's irrelevant. You needed to hear it all. And we're happy to do it for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Lucas Grandy, great stuff. For Ray, I'm Damon. Sports don't build character. They reveal it.
And like that, he's gone.